known as the god of death of Konoha. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 101 Pre-War Deployment. Minato's class was established not long ago. On weekdays, only my guy and Uchiha Shizu came to Bai Yu to practice. Bai Yu was a little uncomfortable without Uchiha Obito's howling for a while, but the good times didn't last long. Bai Yu, who was sleeping soundly at night, was awakened by the ninja of the Enbu. An emergency meeting in the Hokage building. Not only Bai Yu, but also Tsunade and Uchiha Mikoto were called. Bai Yu had no choice but to put on his clothes. The whole family went to the Hokage building. This time, everyone was present at the meeting, and everyone was present. The heads of all families came. Some outstanding jonin were also there, including Minato Namikaze, who was Jiraiya's disciple. I'm very sorry to call you all here late at night. Just now, an urgent intelligence was sent back. Sarutobi Hiruzen said with a serious face. The Sand Village blamed the disappearance of the third Kazekage on us, saying that we killed the third Kazekage, and Sarutobi Hiruzen paused at this. The third ninja world war has begun. The Sand Ninja has challenged us once again. Sarutobi Hiruzen said with a hint of murderous intent. Nice. Great. A power bank for the tailed beasts. Haha. Bai Yu was so excited that he actually shouted out what was in his mind. For a moment, the scene was extremely awkward. Everyone's eyes were focused on Bai Yu. Bai Yu was about to say something awkwardly. Orochimaru said, "That's right. This is the spirit we need. Peace means living in peace. But if we want to fight, then we have to fight. First of all, we have to raise our morale. I think Yu-jun's spirit is worth learning from." Nice. Bai Yu secretly gave Orochimaru a thumbs up. Well, this time, the Sand Ninja and the Rock Ninja are fighting against Konoha. I order Narashikaku to lead his troops to the Kusagakure border to resist the Rock Ninja army. Namikaze Minato leads the Minato squad as the vanguard team to Kusagakure village to clear out the Rock Ninja team. Orochimaru, takes Akumo, you are responsible for leading the troops to resist our old friends, the Sand Ninja village ninjas. The rest of you are on standby in the village. Be ready for any emergency at any time. Sarutobi Hiruzen said seriously. No. I don't want to be on standby at any time. I can lead the dragon group as a mobile force and roam the battlefield. Wherever there is a battle, there will be the figure of my dragon group. My tail beast power bank. How could I abandon it and leave? Exclamation mark. Impossible. Bai Yu said anxiously. I understand your feelings. I also want to go to the battlefield. But the village still needs someone to take charge. If they go, they are strong enough. Just wait for the opportunity in the village. The early stage is just a test. You should wait for the battle to enter before entering. Sarutobi Hiruzen looked at Bai Yu with relief and said kindly. Bai Yu's brain was working fast, thinking about how to enter the battlefield. I can already smell the smell of burning brain cells. Bai Yu suddenly had a flash of inspiration. What about the medical team? Tsunade will go to the Sand Ninja battlefield to take charge of the medical team. I will go to the Rock Ninja medical team to take charge. Shukaku can't smell my breath and won't go berserk. How about it? This is possible. Exclamation mark. Mikoto is still in the dragon team. During this period, Mikoto will take charge of the dragon team. The mobility of the dragon team is very strong without me. Bai Yu said hurriedly, thinking to himself, old thief, if you don't agree to this, I promise to make you die suddenly that day. In that case, then alright. Just do as you say. Sarutobi Hiruzen said helplessly. However, he was very pleased with Bai Yu's belief in fighting for the village. Little did he know that Bai Yu was just after the tail beast power bank. As Bai Yu's bedmates, Tsunade and Mikoto knew that Bai Yu's purpose was definitely not as simple as fighting. However, the two women did not say anything. After the feelings of time, they had already reached the point where they didn't need to say anything, as they were all in their hearts. This meeting took a long time because there were many details to be agreed upon. The next morning, after the meeting, no one went back to rest. but went directly to reorganize the troops. Uchiha Mikoto put on the light armor that she had not worn for a long time, and under the escort of the 8 people of the Dragon Group, she went to the Dragon Group base to sit in command, waiting for orders at any time. Tsunade also put on light armor and took the medical ninja team to the reorganization site of Orochimaru and Hatake Tsukumo to discuss the details of the battle. Bai Yu excitedly put on light armor and directly handed over the matter of the medical team to the head of the medical ninja sent by Konoha Hospital. He ran to Narushikaku and Namikaze Minato and asked carelessly when to set off. You, aren't you in charge of the medical team? Where are the troops? Narushikaku asked in confusion when he saw Bai Yu coming over alone. Haha. You know, I'm suitable for fighting. I'll leave this kind of thing to others. Hurry up and tell me, when are we leaving? Oh, Obito, Kakashi, Rin, you're here too. I don't know when I can see Kei and Uchiha Shisu. I heard they went on a mission. Bai Yu said carelessly. For a moment, Narushikaku was helpless. Namikaze Minato touched his nose awkwardly. And Kakashi, Uchiha Obito, and Nohara are in behind him. Hey, what's with that expression on your face? Treating the wounded is a matter of minutes. As long as there is still a breath, I can save them. Don't worry, I'm very reliable. Bai Yu said impatiently. We are discussing it. You come over. Let's study it together. Narushikaku said helplessly. Yeah. Bai Yu nodded. Narushikaku pointed to the map. This is the map of the ninja world. This is the territory of our land of fire, and this place is the boundary of the land of earth. There are 3 small ninja villages in the middle. One is the rain village, and this place is the battlefield with the sand ninja. And these 2 places are our battlefields. According to the intelligence, the Kusagakure village has been controlled by the rock ninja, and the Taki village is wavering. The most urgent task is to send people to the Taki village to get information. If we want to unite with the Rock Ninja village, we must make plans early. If not, we must gather them to our Konoha side, so that we can save some trouble. The Minato team will go to find out here. Narushikaku said calmly and wisely. Okay. Namikaze Minato said with a smile. What about me? What do I do? Bai Yu asked. Aren't you the captain of the medical ninja unit? Of course, you will act after the large force sets off and station here. This is the location of the medical unit. Narushikaku pointed to the junction between the Taki village, Kusagakure village and the land of fire and said, impossible. How can I concentrate on commanding the medical unit? Absolutely impossible. Lin, go command the medical unit for me. I need to go to the battlefield. Damn my tailed beast charger. Narushikaku, you must be itching for trouble. Nohara was so flustered that she didn't know what to say. You are really. Narushikaku said helplessly, covering his forehead. With your mobility, do I need to arrange it now? Narushikaku said helplessly. That's right. Well, go on. I'm listening. Bai Yu laughed and touched his head and said. After cursing in his heart, Narushikaku continued to analyze and deploy. Chapter 102. The past is like smoke. So, war requires speed. So I decided that all the battalions, squadrons, and teams will be ready today and set off as soon as the sun rises tomorrow. Narushikaku said. Let's do this first. I'll go inform Akimichi Choza and Yamanaka Inoichi. Minato, you go ahead. The earlier we get the information, the less danger there is. Narushikaku then made a summary speech. Well, Minato's team is leaving. Namikaze Minato said, and the Minato team moved quickly. Narushikaku also left. I'll go. What about me? Bai Yu opened his eyes wide and looked at the 2 groups of people leaving. Damn it. Bai Yu said angrily. Then he returned to the medical ninja unit and urged them to pack up quickly. Anyway, we all know the stationing location. So we just need to go quickly. So, the medical ninja unit led by Bai Yu ushered in a devilish preparation. Late at night, the medical ninjas had just sorted out the supplies, instruments and other items. They didn't even wait to eat. Bai Yu summoned Bai Long. Everyone, tie up your belongings. Get on the dragon's back. Bai Yu shouted from above Bai Long's head. Zio Bai, don't twist around when you fly this time. It's okay if you're a little slower, but don't be too slow. Bai Yu whispered to Bai Long while everyone was busy. Got it. Can you not use me as a laborer every time? You can just ask me to take a walk when you have nothing to do. Bailong said resentfully. Ah. Haha. I know. I'll pay attention next time. Bai Yu touched his head and said with a smile. Master Bai Yu. Everything is ready. A ninja behind Bai Yu shouted. Use chakra to absorb Bailong's scales and stabilize the supplies. Bai Yu shouted. Waited for a while. Let's go. Bai Yu shouted from the dragon's head. Hiss Bailong roared. His figure flew up at a very comfortable speed. When Bailong flew into the sky, all the ninjas forgot that they hadn't eaten and were tired all day because the feeling of flying in the sky was so comfortable. And the view from above is amazing. Shikaku-sama. Shiraha-sama has left with the medical team. A ninja hurried to Nera's house. At this time, Nera, Shikaku, Akimichi Choza and Yamanaka Inoichi were discussing the details of the war. Hearing the ninja's report, Nera, Shikaku and the other two suddenly smiled bitterly. This Shiraha is really, well, okay, I know. Go get busy first. Nera Shikaku said with a long lost troubled face. Yes, Shikaku-sama. The ninja heard what Nera Shikaku said and left. It seems that Yu has a warlike gene in his blood. Yamanaka Inoichi said with a smile. I think Yu is very smart. He is not only warlike, but also very wise. Akimichi Choza took out a bag of potato chips and said while eating. That guy, it's not because he is warlike. According to my analysis, that guy must have his own purpose. Nera Shikaku's narrow eyes seemed to see through everything. Huh? What purpose can you have? Yamanaka Inoichi asked puzzled. I'm not a worm in his stomach. How would I know? Let's not talk about him. Let's continue to discuss the details of the battle. Nera Shikaku said with a troubled look on his face. Tsunade. It's been a long time since we fought together. I really miss you. At this time, Orochimaru, Hatake and Tsunade were in a tent that had just been built next to Konoha village. Under the order of Orochimaru, the anti-sand ninja troops led by Hatake had already assembled and sorted out the supplies, waiting to set off early the next morning. Orochimaru looked at Tsunade, although the smile on his face still made people feel dangerous. I don't know where Jiraiya went. It's really abominable. At such a critical moment, he was not there. Tsunade's true colors were revealed in an instant when she was not by Bai Yu's side. The arrogant and domineering Tsunade princess is online. Well, okay, let's continue to refine the details of the battle. As a veteran strongman, Hatake words still carry a lot of weight at critical moments. Although Tsunade is used to being domineering towards Hatake, she is still very measured when it comes to major events. Report. 3 adults. Just now, Lord Bai Yu has set off with the medical team. A ninja ran in to report. Well, I see. You go and get busy first. Hatake had 3 black lines on his head and waved his hand. Yes. Tsunade, what does your husband think? Setting off with the medical team first is the same as the rapid support team. Hatake couldn't help but say. TSK, my husband is the rapid support team himself. It doesn't matter what kind of team he leads. Stop talking nonsense and finish the discussion quickly. I still have to go and have some fun. I've been suffocating for a while. Humph. Tsunade said arrogantly. Tsunade can neither talk nor beat Bai Yu, and there is also family law. I don't know how Bai Yu's kidneys are built. There is really nothing he can do to Bai Yu. When Hatake and Orochimaru saw Tsunade's look, they remembered that Tsunade was originally like this, and they couldn't help but deeply admire Bai Yu for making Tsunade so obedient. Hatake had no choice but to talk about his plan, and Orochimaru would naturally talk about his plan. After all, when 2 excellent ninjas are together, there will definitely be countless ingenious suggestions. Tsunade listened for a while and couldn't control her inner joy. She said, the medical team is handed over to me. I'm leaving first. If you have anything, just tell me directly. Oh, I'm so tired. Then she took a quick step and went straight to the village casino. Don't say it, because of Bai Yu, Tsunade has really saved a lot of money during this period. It's a pity, this prodigal woman. Oh, Teacher Minato, can you tell me what kind of person is Teacher Bai Yu? When Nohara saw Bai Yu's fiery look, she couldn't help but wonder if the smiling, gentle, and somewhat heroic teacher Bai Yu was real. Why are you asking about Bai Yu all of a sudden? Minato Namikaze was stunned when he heard Nohara question while walking. I feel like Bai Yu teacher seems to be very excited about the war. Nohara said softly. Is that so? Well, then I'll tell you about Bai Yu I know. It just so happens that we've been traveling for such a long time. Let's take a break. Minato Namikaze understood Nohara idea and said with a smile. The four of them quickly found a safe place and had a simple meal. Minato Namikaze split into 3 clones to guard the surroundings. Then he told the 3 people about Bai Yu as he knew him. In my memory, Bai Yu is a genius. It should be said that he is a devil. In addition to the achievements of Bai Yu that are now circulating, Bai Yu is a very generous person. I remember the first time I met Bai Yu. When Bai Yu had just arrived in the village, he took me and Kushina to set up a stall. With only 2,000 taels of capital, he earned several times. But I don't know how much he earned. Anyway, it was a lot, and the money was taken by Kushina. Speaking of this, Schumann touched his nose and felt a little embarrassed. Brothers and sisters, Mustard has to say here that this novel is roughly based on the anime fan fiction. But when Bai Yu appeared, this novel was no longer the original, but Mustard's own novel, and it will definitely be different from the original. And Mustard is not apt and will have his own ideas. If you want to read the original, you might as well watch anime or comics, right? Chapter 103, a small episode of the Watergate class. Then Bai Yu relied on his talent to grow quickly and soon went to the battlefield. The reason why Bai Yu went to the battlefield was very touching. It came from a blood letter with a conspiracy. Namikaze Minato said this, and there was a flash of resentment in his eyes. At this time, both Kakashi and Uchiha Obito were quietly waiting for Namikaze Minato's words. That letter was a conspiracy by Shimura Danzo, who intended to strangle Bai Yu, the genius, in the cradle, because Bai Yu did not join the former route. The letter was fabricated by Shimura Danzo, and the content was that Tsunade was in danger. So Bai Yu stood with the summoning beast White Dragon, and fell into the camp of the Sand Ninja Jinchuriki alone. He successfully killed the one-tailed Jinchuriki, and then pushed the scales of victory to Konoha with his own strength. He traveled thousands of miles, and was not afraid of life and death, just fought Tsunade. Tsunade also became Yu's wife. So, Yu is not only a person who values love and friendship, but also to the enemy, that is a Konoha death god. The death god who brings the fear of death to the enemy. Bai Yu is kind to his own people, but he is really cold-blooded and ruthless to the enemy. Namikaze Minato explained his understanding of Bai Yu. After listening to Namikaze Minato's words, Kakashi, Uchiha Obito, and Nohara their respect for Bai Yu was raised to another level. Well, there are enemies. Namikaze Minato suddenly changed his face and said in a low voice. Kakashi was the first to react, holding the long sword in his backhand. Uchiha Obito also took out the special short blade from his back. Nohara stood in a safe position very consciously, looking around vigilantly, because Nohara was a medical ninja, so she had to keep herself safe at all times. Because auxiliary blood addition plays a big role in team battles. There are 5 enemies. Nohara closed her eyes, made seals with her hands, and a layer of chakra that seemed to be there and not there spread around. Then she opened her eyes and said seriously, Zyanolin, this ninjutsu of yours? Namikaze Minato saw it, and immediately became curious and asked. It was taught to me by Mr. Bai Yu. He said that I was a medical ninja, and for safety reasons, he designed a perception type ninjutsu for me. Master Tsunade asked Mr. Bai Yu to teach me the improved Yin seal. Nohara explained quickly. Wow. That's too much. Mr. Bai Yu didn't even design a ninjutsu for me. Uchiha Obito said with a sneer. What is your unmarked ninjutsu? Stop talking nonsense and get ready for battle. Kakashi said coldly. Well, if you have anything to say, let's talk after the battle. You protect Lin and leave the rest to me. After Minato Namikaze finished speaking, he used the Flying Thunder God technique and disappeared in an instant. Then, in the woods, after a few golden flashes, accompanied by wailing, the battle ended in the blink of an eye. Then Minato Namikaze's figure appeared in front of the three people again. It seems that he is a ninja who collects intelligence. This intelligence is quite a lot. Minato Namikaze took out a scroll and looked at it, then burned it. Teacher Minato, what is that technique you just used? So cool. Uchiha Obito leaned over and asked. Which one is the Flying Thunder God technique? A space ninjutsu. Oh, that's right. Stand still. Minato Namikaze thought of something. Then he engraved the Flying Thunder God technique on the backs of the three people. Well, okay. In this way, when you are in danger during the battle, I can appear behind you at the first time. Minato Namikaze said with a smile. Teacher Minato, is this ninjutsu difficult to practice? Uchiha Obito asked. Well, how should I put it? You need the foundation of sealing techniques, and then you need to study the techniques of Flying Thunder God technique, establish your own techniques, and then you can use it. Namikaze Minato said simply. You also need sealing techniques, forget it. I feel sleepy just looking at it. Uchiha Obito's interest disappeared instantly. The last one. Kakashi mocked softly at the side. Asshole, what are you talking about? Damn it. Uchiha Obito instantly got angry. Okay. Stop arguing. We are all companions. Nohara gently reconciled the two. I don't want to be his companion. TSK. Uchiha Obito said arrogantly. As if I want to. Humph. Kakashi gave a dead fisheye in return. Take your hand out. Nohara sniffed and walked in front of Uchiha Obito and said. What are you doing? Uchiha Obito's eyes dodged, and he said awkwardly with his hands behind his back. Take it out. Nohara took Uchiha Obito's hand directly. There was a deep wound on Uchiha Obito's knuckles. How did it happen? Were you attacked just now? Namikaze Minato asked puzzled. That. I was too nervous just now, and accidentally held the blade of the short blade. Haha. It's okay. It will be fine in a while. Uchiha Obito blushed and said hurriedly. Really? If it weren't for my sensitive nose and smelling the blood, are you going to just wait for it to heal silently? Don't underestimate this wound. Teacher Bai Yu told me that if the wound is not cleaned in time, even if the ninja's physique is strong, it will be infected and it will be more troublesome at that time. I'll bandage it for you. Nohara took out medical tools from her backpack. Gently bandaged Uchiha Obito's wound. Uchiha Obito looked at Nohara's gentle look and couldn't help being infatuated. After a while, his face turned red, but he still enjoyed the process of Nohara bandaging him. And Nohara saw Uchiha Obito looking at her infatuatedly and pouted. Look at your silly look. The bandage is done. Nohara said gently. It's done now? Okay, thank you Rin. Uchiha Obito said in a panic. What are you thanking me for? We are companions. Nohara said with a smile. Just companions? But even if I'm just a companion in your heart, I will protect you for the rest of my life. I want to protect your smile. Uchiha Obito felt a little sour in his heart, but he was also very determined. Haha. Kakashi, don't get hurt next time. Haha. Uchiha Obito touched his head and said with a smile. Idiot. Kakashi heard what Uchiha Obito said, uttered two words lightly, and walked aside to practice swordsmanship. This is Kakashi's unstoppable training process every day. Bai Yu once said that practicing swordsmanship is like rowing against the current. If you don't advance, you will retreat. So Kakashi dare not neglect it at all. Asshole. What are you talking about? Lin, don't pull me. I want to duel with this hateful guy. Uchiha Obito said angrily. Although there are some quarrels, but it still can't cover up this strong bond. You taught these three children very well. While being alert to the surroundings, Minato Namikaze saw the farce of the three people. He couldn't help but smile knowingly. It's really good to be young. Haha. Whoa. I hope there won't be any changes. I don't know why. Minato Namikaze always felt a little uneasy in his heart. Chapter 104. Shisu's Experience. The next morning, the sun just came out. The troops led by Inoshikacho and Hatesakumo started to set off. At this time, only the Uchiha clan and the Hyuga clan were left in Konoha village, and there were some strong ninjas. As the Hokage, Sarutobi Hiruzen would not go out easily, and Uzumaki Kushina was once again confined. The range of activities was still okay, as long as she did not leave the village, but there were more members of the Anbu to watch over her. Makoto, it's so boring. Everyone is out. I also want to go to the battlefield. At the Dragon Group base, Uzumaki Kushina sat opposite Uchiha Makoto boredly, and said with her face supported, "Your identity is very special. Just bear with it. Isn't it better now? In the past, whenever there was any action in the village, you could only stay at home. Now you can still walk around the village," Uchiha Makoto said with a smile. "But everyone is not here. They all went to the front line. Minato is not here either," Uzumaki Kushina said. "Ah. I think you want to go find Minato Namikaze. Really, you miss him after only one day away," Uchiha Makoto joked. "Ah. No way. How could I miss that sissy? Impossible," Uzumaki Kushina explained with an extremely abnormal expression. "It shouldn't be a big deal for now. How about I accompany you to the village for a walk? Let's go find Misaya Fugaku," Uchiha Makoto said with a smile. "Okay. I want to eat barbecue. I also want fried chicken. Forget about hot pot, it's too hot." Uzumaki Kushina heard it and immediately became energetic. "Then let's go." Then Uchiha Makoto and Uzumaki Kushina walked out of the Dragon Group, talking and laughing, and headed straight for the Uchiha clan. The 8 people of the Dragon Group quietly protected Uchiha Makoto and Uzumaki Kushina in secret. "Hey, Captain, aren't there only 4 of us? When did 8 more people come?" "Shh, we are the Dragon team." "Ah. Thank you for your hard work. Let's drink together when you have time." "No problem. How much can you drink?" 10 bottles. "How about you, brother? Did you see that?" Then Uchiha Genji stuck a finger deep in his mouth. "1 bottle? You can't do that, brother. 1 bottle? This is drinking all the time. I can't do that either. We are white-haired, you know. He is like this," Uchiha Genji said disdainfully, then stretched out his palm and retracted his middle finger. "What is this? 4 bottles? This is endless drinking. Let's go. Let's go. Hurry up and catch up." "Yeah. Makoto. Ah. Kushina. You are here. Come in, come in." After getting married, Uchiha Fugaku and Uchiha Missy have moved out to live. Seeing the arrival of Uchiha Makoto and Uzumaki Kushina, Uchiha Missy expressed her great happiness. After marriage, Uchiha Missy, although still a jonin, has never been on a mission. "Fugaku. Come on. Makoto and Kushina are here," Uchiha Missy shouted as they walked into the living room. "Huh. Here they are. Here they are." Uchiha Fugaku was looking at the Uchiha clan supply list, and when he heard Uchiha Missy's shout, a smile appeared on his face. Wearing home clothes, he came to the living room. "Come on, talk to them. I'll prepare some cakes and tea," Uchiha Missy said happily. "No need. We are here to have dinner with you. I haven't eaten skewers for a long time." Uzumaki Kushina licked her tongue and said, "Ah, is that so? Okay then. Fugaku and I will change clothes first. Let's go." Uchiha Missy hadn't eaten skewers for a long time, and she pulled Uchiha Fugaku, who looked helpless, into the room. Originally, Uchiha Fugaku was planning to plan how to dispatch personnel if the Uchiha clan was needed to go to war. However, the leader's interest cannot be wiped out, otherwise the consequences will be terrible. "Shisu, hurry. This information is very important. Don't worry about us. Send it back quickly." In the territory of the Land of Lightning, Shisu's Anbu team is carrying out the task of collecting intelligence. Coincidentally, Shisu's team discovered the secretly assembled forces of the Land of Lightning. Shisu's captain is a senior ninja who is good at illusion. Using powerful illusions, Shisu's team successfully got a secret letter of command deployment. Although it cannot be opened rashly, this letter is definitely the recent combat plan of the Cloud Village. However, it was discovered. Several people fled without hesitation. There are a total of 4 people in the team. During the escape, 2 people were sacrificed. Although Shisu has joined the Anbu for a short time, the members of Shisu's team are very caring for Shisu. It is also the first time for Shisu to experience such ups and downs. Every sacrifice of a member is a mental stimulation for Shisu. At this time, Shisu and the captain have fled to the Tang Ninja village, only 3,000 meters away from reaching the Land of Fire. However, Shisu and the captain were stopped. "No. Captain, I don't want to lose teammates anymore. 3 Magatama flashed in Shisu's eyes. Shisu, your eyes. Hey, congratulations. But I'm afraid the captain can't go back with you. As he spoke, blood flowed from the corner of the captain's mouth. Behind him, a dark-skinned ninja wearing a Cloud Ninja forehead protector appeared. A long sword pierced the captain's heart. Slowly, the captain closed his eyes. Stopped breathing. No. Shisu's heart was filled with pain. Is this the cruelty of the ninja world? Why can't there be peace? That's right. I'm too naive. Teacher Bai Yu, I finally know why you are called the god of death of Konoha. You can't be too kind to your enemies. Exclamation mark. Swish, swish, whoosh. The ninjas from the 12 Cloud Ninja villages stood in front of Uchiha Shisu. Die. Die all of you. Uchiha Shisu shouted angrily. The long sword was in hand. The body flash technique was performed like a ghost. When? A Cloud Ninja didn't know when Uchiha Shisu performed the body flash technique until his death. He only knew that he saw his own body and Uchiha Shisu's pair of cold Mangeki Sharingan. After a sound of swords colliding, there was no other sound except the sound of the wind. Tick, tick. The blood slowly slid down the long sword in Uchiha Shisu's hand. Uchiha Shisu put the captain's body into the sealing scroll and ran towards Konoha village. At this moment, Uchiha Shisu grew up. The pain in his eyes made Uchiha Shisu remember this scene today forever. If I had known that the enemy hadn't arrived yet, I wouldn't have been in a hurry. Really? You don't explain it clearly. Bai Yu's medical team was around. Several waves of rock ninjas who came to spy on intelligence were easily solved by Bai Yu. Looking at the intelligence he had seized, he realized that it would take several days for the enemy's large force to arrive. Bai Yu complained inwardly helplessly. After burning the enemy's corpse, Bai Yu held the Bai Yu sword and wandered around boredly to see if there was any delicious game. It would be nice to improve the food at night. Chapter 105, Demolition Force Raid. Lord Sachikage. None of the ninjas we sent out to gather intelligence have returned. Huang Tu reported the current situation in that Sachikage's office. In that case, send the magic leeches to gather intelligence. Try to take Takigakure village. Send the demolition team as the advance force. Then let the East Dead people set off. The rest will proceed as planned. That Sachikage pondered for a while and said with his small body floating in the air. Yes, Lord Sachikage. Huang Tu said, and then he withdrew. When there was no one in the office, Anoki took out a letter from his arms. Lord Sachikage, we Sand Ninjas are willing to unite with your village to attack the Land of Fire. After victory, we only need 20% of the supplies. Chio. The words were concise, without dragging, and went straight to the point. Anoki flew to the desk and wrote a letter. Someone come. Anoki shouted. Akato walked in. Lord Sachikage, send this letter to Chio in Sanjakure village. Anoki handed the letter to Akato. Yes. Akato took the letter and withdrew. If we want to fight against the Fire Country, I'm afraid that the Rock Village and the Sand Village alone are not enough. Let alone Hatake Tsukumo and the 3 ninjas of Konoha. Even Bai Yu may not be easy to deal with. Fortunately, I have foresight. The Cloud Village and the Mist Village. Don't even think about staying out of it. A cunning flashed in Anoki's eyes. Hey, not bad. Today's harvest is good. Bai Yu carried the Bai Yu sword, and there were 3 rabbits on the sword. Master Bai Yu. Master Bai Yu. Bai Yu walked back from outside. The ninjas passing by greeted Bai Yu one after another. Bai Yu nodded. Hey, you. Hakusho Halley. You will be in charge of the medical team in the future. If there is something serious or someone is dying, come to me. Thank you for your hard work. Bai Yu saw Hakusho Halley who was about to slip away, and then said loudly, yes, Master Bai Yu. Hakusho Halley looked helpless, but she also agreed. Don't look sad, smile. Come over later, I'll roast a rabbit for you. Haha. Bai Yu smiled and staggered back to his tent. He skillfully set up the stove and began to pick up the wild rabbit. When the rabbit was on the shelf, a strong smell of meat filled the entire tent. Bai Yu was very trustworthy and directly sent a clone to send a roasted rabbit to Belly Xiang Haley. Then he enjoyed it himself. Late at night, Bai Yu was a little uncomfortable sleeping by himself. On weekdays, he was He tossed and turned in bed, always feeling that something was missing. It seemed that he was destined to suffer from insomnia. Finally, Bai Yu fell asleep in a daze. But he was awakened by a loud noise. Bang, bang, F***K. Damn. Who the hell is so wicked to set off the detonating talisman in the middle of the night? Bai Yu put on light armor in extreme dissatisfaction and walked out of the tent. Although he cursed, his actions were not slow at all. Bai Yu walked out and saw fire everywhere. Some ninjas wearing rock ninja forehead protectors were wreaking havoc. The leader was a man with black eyes and white pupils. This man was very strange, and everything he touched would explode. Hey, stop it. That's too much. You don't give me face. Bai Yu twisted his neck and walked towards the man. He shouted as he walked, shouting as he was the captain of the Rock Ninja Demolition Team, shouting that he knew Bai Yu. Seeing Bai Yu's face, that was exactly the same as the intelligence. The originally bronze face was several shades darker. Retreat. The Konoha Death God is here. Shouting hurriedly. Konoha Death God? What Konoha Death God? I'm the god of the ninja world. Go to hell. A young ninja, ignoring shouting, ran straight to Bai Yu. Young, retreat quickly. The demolition team was not only made up of young ninjas, but also many experienced ninjas. After hearing shouting, they immediately began to retreat. Yo. You want to dance? Bai Yu looked at the ninja who rushed over with disdain. Go to hell. The young ninja instantly threw out 10 shurikens with detonating tags in his hand. Then he quickly formed seals with both hands. Earth escape. Earth formation wall. The young ninja protected himself behind the earth wall. Give it back to you. Bai Yu's body was suddenly covered with dark purple light. His figure was like a dark purple silk thread, crossing 10 detonating talismans. He instantly grabbed the detonating talisman in his hand, and then rushed to the earth wall. Inch force. Bai Yu punched a hole in the earth wall. Then he threw the detonating talisman into it. Talisman technique. Magic formation. Rise. Bai Yu's mind turned, and he threw out the talisman that had not been used in the ninja bag for a long time, and a red barrier rose around the young ninja. Boom. The flames rose to the sky. The ground was shaken by the huge explosion. However, the range of damage was only within the barrier. The barrier was instantly vaporized. Even the land was vaporized by a level. You want to run away after you come here? Do you think I'm Sunday? Bai Yu looked at the figures fleeing in the distance. He turned into a dark purple lightning and rushed over. The white feather sword was like the sickle of the god of death, harvesting the slow running rock ninja demolition core ninjas. Should we use the sword control technique? Forget it. Don't chase after a desperate enemy. Yes. That's right. Bai Yu thought about it and let the fastest few people in front leave. Soon. Safe. Shao and most of the remaining ninjas of the demolition corps felt a sense of relief for surviving a disaster. Captain, is that person the legendary Konoha Death God Bai Yu? A ninja asked. Yes, that's right. Even I saw him for the first time. I have always seen him in intelligence photos. Shao said. It's really terrifying. But why is he in the medical corps? The ninja continued to ask. Shao didn't say anything because he couldn't figure it out, because with Bai Yu's strength, he is undoubtedly the commander of the corps, but he is in the medical corps, which is very puzzling. I guess Konoha wants Bai Yu to be a secret weapon, so he mixed into the medical corps. A ninja who looked a little old said on the side. It is said that Bai Yu has 2 wives, one of whom is Tsunade. Do you think Tsunade is also in this tent? He is so cruel because we ruined his good deeds. The ninja who spoke had a hint of evil interest in his eyes. Bang. The evil interest ninja was knocked away by Shao. Idiot. What are you thinking? How is it possible? Report the information quickly. Everything is up to that such kid-sama to decide. Shao said with a dark face. The evil interest ninja smiled bitterly and said nothing. Bai Yu returned to his tent and continued to try to sleep. However, after being disturbed by such a disturbance, he completely lost his sleepiness and his hands were itching. Should we go and find the tailed beasts of the Iwagakure? Remember that the tailed beasts of the Iwagakure are the 4-tailed and 5-tailed. Would they be more powerful than the 1-tailed Shikaku? So excited. Tailed beast power bank. Whoever uses it will be awesome. Thinking about it, Bai Yu couldn't help but think about the 9-tailed. Should we discuss it with Uzumaki, Kushina and Namikaze Minato? Anyway, he won't die, right? Forget it. I'll wait until the Ninetales can no longer be controlled. Anyway, Uzumaki Kushina is older than me, and there is no way to extend her life. She will die of old age one day. After absorbing the other tailed beasts, it should be enough to kill Uchiha Madara, right? Bai Yu forced himself to sleep again. Chapter 106. The storm surges again. This old fox. Humph. Forget it. This is how it should be. Chiyo sat in the office and looked at the letter in her hand. She said with disdain, "This matter is of great importance. I will contact the Cloud Village and the Mist Village to jointly fight against Konoha. As for the distribution of materials, we will discuss it after victory." Written by Inoki himself. After seeing the letter from the Tsuchikage, the Reikage and the Mizukage showed a thoughtful look. This alliance is undoubtedly an opportunity. Konoha has been the only one for many years. Because of Bai Yu, even most of the merchants who passed by lingered in Konoha. In this ninja world war, if Konoha loses, at best, Konoha will be the bottom of the 5 countries, and at worst, the 5 countries will be tied again. If Konoha wins, humph, it is impossible to win. The cage of each ninja village is calculating what kind of troops to send out, and what kind of troops to retain, because according to the post-war discussion in the letter, if things go wrong, there will be another war for the distribution of materials, so it is better to retain strength as soon as possible. But you can't retain too much, because this time you must defeat Konoha. Based on the current situation, it is really going to be a big war. Just from the early probing, the 4 villages were vaguely involved. Fortunately, Konoha is still strong enough to resist, but it is also a bit nervous. Now it is just a war between 2 villages. If the 4 villages attack Konoha at the same time, who should the Cloud Ninja and Mist Ninja let resist? Sarutobi Hiruzen sat in the office, thinking deeply. At this time, the Hokage's office was filled with a strong smell of tobacco. Dang dang dang. There was a knock on the door. "Come in," Sarutobi Hiruzen said in a deep voice. Cough cough cough. A strong cough. Sorry. I'll open the window to let it out. Sarutobi Hiruzen saw that it was Uchiha Shizu who came in to cough, and his face was a little embarrassed. He quickly opened the window to let out the smoke in the room. Hokage-sama. With the breeze, the smoke became much lighter. Uchiha Shizu said quickly, "Shizu, where's your captain? Why don't I see him? Did he go back to see his child? I'm ashamed to say that I asked him to carry out the mission when his child was only 1 month old. I should give him long vacation." Sarutobi Hiruzen said with a smile. "Captain." Uchiha Shizu's eyes flashed with pain and he hesitated to speak. The shrewd Sarutobi Hiruzen understood instantly. His face couldn't help but feel a little sad. "Don't say it. I understand. It's a bit uncomfortable to say it out. Leave the rest to me. Briefly talk about the mission." Sarutobi Hiruzen waved his hand and didn't let Uchiha Shizu continue to talk about the team. "This time we found a secret letter scroll from another village. I didn't open it to read it because I was afraid of damaging the scroll." Uchiha Shizu put the scroll on Sarutobi Hiruzen's desk and said, "Okay, Shizu, go back and rest first." Sarutobi Hiruzen said with a smile. "Yes." Uchiha Shizu responded and walked out of the Hokage's office, but his face looked a little bad. Sarutobi Hiruzen put away his smile and looked a little helpless. "Ninja. Eh?" Then Sarutobi Hiruzen picked up the secret letter scroll, observed it for a while, and then opened it. Seeing the content, Sarutobi Hiruzen's face changed. "Tokigakure is unwilling to be an enemy of Konoha." Sarutobi Hiruzen looked at the long report on the letter. He analyzed a lot of information in just a few words. For example, why did the Cloud Ninja know so much about Tokigakure? Why did the Cloud Ninja know so much about the troop deployment of Iwagakure? Even the Sand Ninja knew it very well. Sarutobi Hiruzen closed his eyes and took a few puffs of cigarettes. Then he opened his eyes, and his cloudy eyes were full of brilliance. A few days later, all the strongholds had been built. Small-scale exploratory battles began in various locations. The first to launch an exploratory battle was the battlefield between the Sand Ninja and Konoha. However, this battle was like a fuse. Then the Iwagakure also began an exploratory battle against Narashikaku. Bai Yu looked at the first wave of wounded soldiers and the intelligence sent by Narashikaku. How boring. Still testing. Just do it. Really? Bai Yu threw the intelligence aside and leaned against the head of the bed, considering whether to make trouble. Captain, I choose to quit the Anbu. I can't stand this kind of unregulated killing. Might Guy participated in the Anbu's first mission, cleaning up border spies. The Anbu acted ruthlessly and decisively, just because a spy was hiding in a poor village. Might Guy's captain ordered the village to be massacred. Might Guy couldn't stand it, and after completing the mission, he returned to the village and asked the captain to quit the Anbu. The eyes behind the captain's mask contained complexity. How could he want to massacre the village? The cruelty of war. It is not uncommon for a child to kill his parents for feeding them a bite of food. In times of war, kindness is the biggest fatal weakness. Okay, just go to Lord Hokage and explain the situation. I hope you understand. The captain's tone was a little serious, but you could hear the complexity in it. Yes, I know, Captain, but I personally can't stand this kind of indiscriminate and ruthless massacre. Sorry, Captain. Although Might Guy's brain is not bright, he is not stupid or dumb. He knows very well that the captain's approach is right, but he can't kill innocent people in his heart. Just like the rules Bai Yu said, innocent people cannot be killed indiscriminately. Might Guy handed in the Anbu uniform and changed into the iconic green tights. Walked towards the Hokage's office. Sarutobi Hiruzen couldn't help but soften his eyes after listening to Might Guy's words. Might Guy is an excellent ninja. Sarutobi Hiruzen said to himself. Okay, I allow you to quit the Anbu. In this case, you go home first, and I will arrange for you to join the team as soon as possible to carry out the task of transporting supplies. Sarutobi Hiruzen said with a smile. Yes, thank you, Lord Hokage. Might Guy said with a sigh of relief. Well, be prepared. You will probably be asked to deliver supplies soon. Sarutobi Hiruzen said, and he already had an idea in mind. Yes, Hokage-sama. Might Guy bowed and left the Hokage's office. Might Guy returned home and told Might Guy about this. He didn't say anything specific, but just said that he couldn't stand the indiscriminate killing mission. Might Guy looked at Might Guy's eyes, thinking that he had disappointed his father, and lowered his head. Gay, raise your head. Might Guy said seriously. Father. Might Guy's eyes flashed with painful tears. Gay, you did nothing wrong in this matter. Father, I'm proud of you. As a ninja, you must protect the weak and protect your companions. Never kill innocent people. I believe that Lord Bai Yu knows and will not blame you. Might Guy said righteously. Father. Gay. The two men hugged each other and cried, with the blue sea and blue sky behind them. K. This is youth. You have lived up to your youth. Father. K. The picture upgraded, the blue sea and the sky are connected, and the bright moon is over the sea. Chapter 107 Uchiha first shows his power. A few days later. Lord Tsukumo. The supplies have been delivered. Please sign. I will return to the village to report to Lord Hokage immediately. Uchiha was alone in the battle because his team was wiped out. So it was difficult to arrange the team. So he had to let Uchiha be the captain of the transport team to escort the supplies. Ah. Shisu, it's been a long time since we last met. Okay, I'll sign now. Hatake Tsukumo was looking at the intelligence, the battle damage table and the list of supplies. Hearing Uchiha voice, he immediately looked up and said with a smile. Uchiha often practiced with Bai Yu and had a good relationship with Kakashi. Hatake Tsukumo naturally knew Uchiha. Report. 1000 sand ninjas, led by Abizo himself. The vanguard has already started fighting. A ninja quickly came to Hatake Tsukumo's camp and said anxiously. Humph. Damn sand ninja. Can't you bear it anymore? Notify the troops and quickly meet the enemy. Hatake Tsukumo's face turned cold, and a murderous aura suddenly rose. Shisu, retreat first. The war is about to start here. Hatake Tsukumo said to Uchiha seriously. Uncle Tsukumo, let me go to the battlefield too. I'm the disciple of Master Bai Yu, so I naturally cannot embarrass him. Please agree, Master Tsukumo. Uchiha said seriously and sincerely. Your courage is commendable, but war is not a joke. Retreat quickly. If you really go to the battlefield, I may not be able to protect you. Hatake Tsukumo said with a frown. Then how about this, Uncle Tsukumo? I will be on the side, and I will retreat if something goes wrong. Is this okay? Besides, if you have not experienced war, you are not an elite ninja. Uchiha Shizu said seriously. In that case, then okay. Remember, you must retreat as soon as there is danger. You are the future of the village. You can't afford to lose. Hatake Tsukumo patted Uchiha Shizu's shoulder and said meaningfully. Yes, I know. Uchiha Shizu said with a smile. This is a small to medium scale battle. Hatake Tsukumo came to the general account and took charge of the situation. It was Orochimaru who came forward to resist Ibizo. Hey, old friend. Orochimaru. Where did you take my Kazakage? Why don't you send him back quickly? Ibizo shouted immediately when he saw Orochimaru. When the two armies are fighting, they must say a few harsh words first. In order to poke the enemy's spirit, Ibizo spoke it the first time and took the initiative to occupy the righteousness first. Konoha ninja. Attack. Orochimaru always remembered what Bai Yu said, people die because of talking too much. So there was no nonsense, and he shouted directly. He made seals with both hands. Summoning jutsu. 10,000 snakes. Orochimaru, you haven't paid tribute for a long time. 10,000 snakes looked at the ninjas on the ground and said cruelly with his snake tongue. You can eat those sand ninjas in front of you at will. Orochimaru stood on the head of 10,000 snakes and said cruelly with his snake tongue. Yoshi. Yikes. Ibizo saw this scene and the corners of his mouth twitched. Attack. Ibizo had no choice but to give the order to attack. The war was ignited instantly. I have to say that Ibizo's strategy is really something. Although the Sand Ninja does not have a summon beast like Manch, but relying solely on the deployment of manpower, the war losses are kept at a balance. The magical puppet technique and the ever-changing tactics make the Sand Ninja invincible. But at this moment, a series of afterimages broke the deadlock. Orochimaru and Manch are responsible for large-scale attacks. The rest of the ninjas are against the Sand Ninjas. And this figure, like a ghost, like nothingness, specifically picks blind spots and harvests lives. Every time you think you hit this figure, it turns out to be an afterimage. Every time you think it's an afterimage, it turns out to be true. Just when you want 3 people to unite to kill this figure, it turns out that this figure quickly splits into 3 afterimages. It's unpredictable. This person is Uchiha Shizu. The instant body technique? How could it be so strange? Sharingan? This is an illusion? No, this is a self-created instant body technique. He should not be very old. How could he have such a strong talent? Is it another Bai Yu? Ibizo naturally paid attention to this change. As the leader of the army, he naturally had to be aware of every change on the battlefield. That guy who can do the instant body technique. He must be killed. He cannot be allowed to grow up. Ibizo gave the order decisively. For a while, the pressure on Uchiha Shizu suddenly increased. But Uchiha Shizu was not afraid. Because the inch power that Bai Yu taught him was a physical skill. And the instant body technique does not consume much chakra. Uchiha Shizu can completely rely on inch power plus proficiency plus est, the highest level of instant body technique, to deal with the enemy for a long time. And Bai Yu also told Uchiha Shizu, including Kakashi, Uchiha Obito, Nohara Rin, and Might Guy, how to use chakra to relieve physical fatigue. Uchiha Shizu not only did not become more and more exhausted because of the large number of people, but because of the large number of people, he became more and more flexible. Moreover, there were more and more afterimages, and the angles of attack became more and more tricky, becoming very strange. It can be said that in this battle, Uchiha Shizu made a contribution with his own strength. The war did not last long. Ibizo has been calculating the losses in his heart. When the Sand Ninja just entered a disadvantage, he ordered a retreat. It seems that he lost, but in fact he did not lose much. Instead, Konoha exposed its strength. After returning to the tent, Ibizo was calculating how many additional personnel to add, in which aspects to strengthen the material reinforcement, and in which aspects to send what kind of ninja reinforcement. Which aspects need to reduce consumption. Yes, we must find out the ninja of the Uchiha clan who performed the instant body technique. The Konoha side was shocked by the strength of Uchiha Shizu. Hatake Tsukumo directly wrote a letter and sent someone to pass it to Sarutobi Hiruzen. He wrote down the merits of Uchiha Shisu and emphasized that Uchiha Shisu needed to stay in the Sand Ninja battlefield to assist Hatake Tsukumo against the Sand Ninja. Moreover, he also emphasized that Uchiha Shisu's strength was definitely above the Chunin. That night, Hatake Tsukumo gave Uchiha Shisu a sumptuous dinner. Is this the battlefield? It feels pretty good. After a period of catharsis of killing, Uchiha Shisu has completely walked out of the shadow of what happened a few days ago. He remained somewhat vigilant and took a rest. This is what Bai Yu told them during their daily chats. On the battlefield, war may break out at any time. Maybe you are sleeping, maybe you are eating, or maybe you are going to the toilet. Anyway, there are only benefits and no harm to being vigilant all the time. Uchiha Shisu has always kept Bai Yu's words in mind. Dare not forget. The next morning, Uchiha Shisu ate the breakfast brought by the ninja in charge of logistics. As soon as he finished eating, he was summoned to the main account to discuss matters. When Uchiha Shisu came into the tent, everyone's eyes were full of approval. It doesn't look like a bad thing. There must be something good. Uchiha Shisu greeted everyone calmly and politely. For this, everyone has some good feelings towards Uchiha Shisu. After all, Uchiha Shisu is still very young. 2 chapters today. HMM. Chapter 108 Narashikaku's Strategy. HMM. Konoha is really full of talented people. In this case, I have no choice but to go to the battlefield with a Hokage candidate. Chiyo said secretly, after taking a look at the information sent back by Ibizo. Thinking alone in the office. Lord Shikaku. The rock ninja troops are attacking, led by Taoshi, leading 1,000 people. The frontline troops are resisting. Report. Lord Shikaku. Our right side troops were attacked by the rock ninja blasting troops. Report. Lord Shikaku. Our left side troops discovered the sand ninja troops. The leader is a female ninja with blood limit burn escape. The 3 ninjas hurried to Narashikaku's main account to report. Narashikaku's face changed. Could it be that Bai Yu drove away the blasting troops some time ago and thought the main battlefield was here? It's really troublesome. It seems that Bai Yu really has to come forward. Anyway, he is free. Then Narashikaku instantly turned into a serious face and said calmly, Order. Akimichi chose leads the troops to support the frontline troops. Fight against the East Deadman troops. Send someone to the medical troop to notify Bai Yu to stop the Sand Ninja. I will personally support the troops on the right. Yamanaka Inoichi, pay attention to the communication between all parties. Yes. 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 The 3 ninjas quickly notified Narashikaku of the order. Then Narashikaku quickly checked the equipment and led the troops to the battle. Exclamation mark. Medical troop. Bai Yu's tent. A ninja ran in quickly. Yoshi. Rohahaha. Come to life. Zyao. Bai Yu's hearty laughter spread throughout the medical troop. Hiss. Bailong appeared in the air. Bai Yu jumped up and stood steadily on the dragon head. Zyao over there. Let's go and fight. Bai Yu was almost bored. He shouted impatiently, looking at Bailong's figure going away. The confused ninjas and the mess of the tent were left behind. It's Narashikaku who came to support. They really think highly of me. The captain of the blasting team, Shao, was wreaking havoc. The ninjas who were slaughtering Konoha saw a group of people in the distance, and they stopped their actions and looked at them. Seeing that iconic hairstyle, Shao couldn't help but say. Narashikaku approached quickly, and the rock ninja blasting team began to assemble. Because if they were alone, they would most likely die. You Konoha really think highly of me. The commander actually came to support. Shao looked at Narashikaku's narrow eyes and shouted with a smile. I'm afraid you think too much. I came to kill you because I was bored. I'm just smarter. When it comes to strength, I'm just a little bit stronger than you. Now it's no good. Any genin can knock me down. Narashikaku and Bai Yu have learned a lot about how to use words to anger people over the years. This is all excellent knowledge in the 21st century. Narashikaku said with emotion. A little bit stronger than me, and genin can knock you down. Do you mean I'm not even as good as genin? Shao's face darkened. As expected of the military of the Nera family. You are really good at talking. Shao pretended to admire. What he meant was that Narashikaku was very fluent in talking, but his strength was very poor. Good at talking? Of course. Otherwise, how could I make you feel that my coming to kill you is a gift to you? Narashikaku shouted lazily. I really hope your strength can be as sharp as your words. Shao shouted coldly. Then you will be disappointed. Because war depends on the brain. Narashikaku raised the corners of his mouth, and his face looked like a conspiracy had succeeded. Huh! Exclamation mark. Shao instantly felt something was wrong. He looked around vigilantly and found that the surrounding ground was covered with a layer of transparent black. What is this? Exclamation mark. Not good. Retreat. Shao shouted with a ferocious face. At this moment, Shadow Seam Technique. Black Banner. Narashikaku made seals with both hands, and the speed was so fast that he completed a ninjutsu in the blink of an eye. A round carry, the black shadows covering the ground instantly boiled. It rose high and turned into a black flower. The silk thread was fiercely mailed into the shadows of the surrounding ninjas. The ninjas were controlled in an instant. Ninjutsu focus fire. Narashikaku was very good at seizing the opportunity and issued orders. For a time, the Konoha troops, with countless ninjutsu, attacked the ninjas controlled by Narashikaku. However, although Narashikaku's ninjutsu had a large area, its power was still a little small, but it was also a good start. Although the overwhelming ninjutsu killed a limited number of people, it left most ninjas with wounds. Despicable. Kerry was very strong, so he didn't suffer any damage. But seeing such a scene, he was immediately angry. People. They all die because of talking too much. Why do you have to talk to me for no reason? Isn't this giving me a chance? Haha. Narashikaku said with a sneer. Are all the Nara family such despicable people? Kerry said angrily. I've told you. You need to rely on your brain to fight. Narashikaku replied. Then he made a few slight movements with his hands. A shadow quietly came to Shao's feet. Climbed up Shao's legs. Shadow head strangulation technique. Narashikaku whispered. Shao was very sensitive to Narashikaku's movements. He thought to himself that it was not good. Feeling the unnaturalness of his legs, chakra surged. He broke free from the shackles of the shadow. Looking at Narashikaku, Shao's eyes flashed with murderous intent. Instant body technique. Shao disappeared from Narashikaku's sight. When Shao appeared again, he was not far from Narashikaku. Narashikaku smiled calmly. Silly and innocent. No, stupid, dark and ugly. Compared to that black-hearted guy like Bai Yu, you are really too naive. Well, I'll let you get close to me. Narashikaku said calmly. What? Exclamation mark. Hearing Narashikaku's words, Shao stopped and immediately became alert to his surroundings, but found that there was no change around him. Dare to play tricks on me. Explode. Shao punched Narashikaku in shame and anger. Narashikaku smiled and tapped his temple. Brain is a good thing. Why don't you want it? Then Narashikaku's expression changed suddenly. Shadow Seam Technique. Black Banner. Narashikaku quickly formed a seal. This trick again. Do you think I will be fooled? You are too naive. Shao's body was very agile. Quickly approached Narashikaku's body. Shadow Imitation Technique. With Narashikaku as the center, 4 Narashikaku appeared around, and the Black Banner technique of Shao and Narashikaku overlapped. The speed of the technique was very fast. Who said that the same trick has the same effect? Narashikaku said disdainfully. At this time, Narashikaku's figure had already appeared behind the 4 clones. When exactly is it? Could it be? Shao saw that the place where Narashikaku appeared was the place where he stood at the beginning. Could it be that all this was calculated by Narashikaku in advance? This strategy is too terrifying. Shao was horrified. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 109. Despair stares at the present. I've told you. You need to rely on your brain to fight. Narashikaku said disdainfully. You can't trap me. Shao tried his best to get rid of Narashikaku's restraints. How is it possible? 4-sided shadow killing technique. Narashikaku's face changed, and his hands quickly formed seals. This is a new way to play with shadows. It was also developed by Narashikaku not long ago. There were 4 shadows connected to Shao, and 4 human-shaped black shadows rose from them. Like ghosts, they floated towards Shao, grasping Shao's neck with both hands. Humph. I can't be defeated like this. Shao punched himself fiercely. The huge explosion power shattered Narashikaku's shadow. Shao was seriously injured instantly, but as a tough ninja, Shao could still hold it in. Retreat. Retreat. With Shao's order, the ninjas of the blasting unit who were fighting fiercely retreated together. Son thief. You are so cruel. I, Narashikaku, will remember you. Beast, right? Very good. You are really like a beast. Narashikaku said with pretended admiration. The retreating Shao couldn't help but spit out blood when he heard what Narashikaku said. Captain. The members of the demolition team next to him saw Shao spit out blood and asked with concern. I'm fine. Retreat to a safe place first. Shao wiped the blood from his mouth and waved his hand. At this time, Shao had a sentence in his mind that he didn't know whether to say it or not. Narashikaku saw that the overall situation was decided. He immediately gave a serious order and said, everyone, follow me to support Akimichi Choza's troops and fight against the numerous enemies of the East Dead. Yes, XN. Narashikaku did not choose to go to support Bai Yu because there was no need. If he couldn't even deal with Bai Yu, he might as well find a beautiful place in advance and dig a hole to live in. Hey, is this the place? Why is there no one here? Is that guy trying to fool me? No, I don't feel any ill will from that guy. Bai Yu came to the place the ninja said, but there was no one there. He couldn't help but frown. Little did he know that he came too early. He only determined the enemy's position based on the speed of the normal troops. Bai Long, the flying cheat, was fast and fell down a long time in advance. This guy's too unreliable. Open your Dharma Eye. Bai Yu had no choice but to open his Dharma Eye to sense the surroundings. Due west, my god, what a guy. You don't know until you see it, and you'll be shocked when you see it. In the distance, dense chakra fluctuations rush towards Bai Yu. Judging from this fluctuation, there should be nearly 2,000 people. Hey, look at the lines. The leader is a woman. Interesting. Bai Yu said with a smile. But when Bai Yu said this, Bai Long, who was standing next to him, with his huge dragon eyes, gave Bai Yu a humanized look. Bai Yu didn't know at all, and still stood there waiting with interest. Sure. There was a dense sound of landing. A female ninja with green hair, orange bangs and a sexy face stood in front of Bai Yu with an expressionless face. Bai Yu took a look. Not bad. His Bai Yu definitely did not drool. Girl, I advise you to leave. I don't want to destroy a flower. Bai Yu lazily put his hand on the Bai Yu sword on his waist and said reluctantly on the hilt. You are the Konoha death god Bai Yu. It's an honor to meet you. I'm Yi Kang, the sand ninja. Yi Kang saw Bai Yu and said respectfully. Hey, am I so famous? How can you know me without seeing me in person? Bai Yu said with a smile. The intelligence said that Lord Bai Yu looks as beautiful as a woman, with a long sword on his waist and silver grey hair. In addition, it is the third Shinobi World War now, so I can be sure of this. Moreover, I have seen your photo. Moreover, you became famous in the ninja world by stepping on the corpses of the sand ninja. Yi Kang said. This is embarrassing. Bai Yu was a little embarrassed when she heard Yi Kang's words. You know it's me, but you still stand in front of me. Are you going to dance? Well, dancing with your body should be very beautiful. Bai Yu touched his slightly stubbled chin and said with a smile. It is obvious that Bai Yu misunderstood the meaning of dancing in Madara's mouth. Please, Lord Bai Yu, please teach me. Then Lord Bai Yu will appreciate my dancing. Although Yi Kang was polite, a trace of anger appeared on his face, which included hostility towards Konoha, and also included hostility towards Bai Yu's fame, by stepping on the corpse of Sand Ninja, and more importantly, Bai Yu actually asked her to dance! Exclamation mark. This is a great humiliation for a ninja. Scorch escape. Oversteaming kill. Yi Kang raised his hand, and the stinging heat emanated, attacking Bai Yu. Zio Bai. Help me cool down. Bai Yu shouted. However, Bailong just glanced at Bai Yu with disdain, and then lay down beside him with his eyes closed to rest. What's wrong with you, Xiao Bei? Bai Yu was puzzled by Bailong's change. But it was nothing. Thunder method. Forget it, no need for ninjutsu. It's not good for a girl to die in such an ugly way. Bai Yu was about to use a ninjutsu, but he changed his mind and felt pity for women. Bai Yu's body was emitting dark purple chakra, and the Bai Yu sword was instantly launched. The sword energy with chakra was attached. It tore Yi Kang's chakra apart. Yi Kang was horrified. He immediately stopped, avoided Bai Yu's sword energy. A body flash technique released ninjutsu at Bai Yu from another angle, but Bai Yu released another sword energy. Take down Bai Yu. Yi Kang realized that Bai Yu was not easy to mess with. His face suddenly became gloomy. He ordered everyone to attack Bai Yu. Seeing this, Bai Yu sneered. I can't kill a woman, but you guys. Thunder method. Thunderfall. This is not a large-scale ninjutsu. However, the purple lightning with flames quickly struck the ninja closest to Bai Yu. It was so fast that there was no time to dodge. In the blink of an eye, more than a dozen ninjas were first burnt. Then they died. Seeing this, Yi Kang's heart sank. Bai Yu, if you have the guts, don't use ninjutsu. Yi Kang suddenly remembered that Bai Yu wiped his saliva at him at the beginning, and a plan suddenly came to his mind. Okay. Bai Yu smiled and agreed. Then the whole person turned into purple lightning. The speed of collecting heads suddenly became faster. For a while, some ninjas couldn't help but look at Yi Kang with some resentment. If you use ninjutsu, you can die more slowly. Seeing this, Yi Kang blushed. But this was not because of any thoughts about Bai Yu. Instead, he blushed about his own judgment. Bai Yu, if you have the guts, don't use the sword. Yi Kang didn't care and shouted quickly. Okay. Bai Yu harvested a head and instantly put the Bai Yu sword back to his waist. With the help of the lightning chakra and inch strength, he performed various magical martial arts. Well, physical skills. Bajakun. Top elbow. Tiger crane double form. Take eye. 4 ounces to move 1,000 pounds. Have you heard of a leg technique called the 12-way tan leg? I'll fight. Do you know that there is a martial arts master called Bruce Lee? Wing Chun. Bai Yu. Bai Yu. Don't use physical skills. Yi Kang shouted again. Oh my god. You're going too far, little girl. Bai Yu couldn't help shouting. This time, not only Yi Kang blushed, but even the sand ninja blushed a little. If you don't want to use it, then don't use it. Dharma Eye. Desperate stare. Bai Yu took advantage of the impact of the collision. Jump out of the attack range. The eyes of the Take-Eye pattern were flowing, revealing a strange gray. The ninja who looked at Bai Yu stopped instantly, and the breath of life slowly disappeared. Chapter 110 Shio, Unoki, and the third Reikage meet. Don't look into his eyes. Retreat. Retreat. Yi Kang saw the ninjas falling to the ground, and instantly realized that Bai Yu was performing the eye technique. He shouted quickly. Wow. Is he a devil? Brother. Stop talking nonsense. Hurry up. Retreat. The aggressive sand ninja army was scared away by Bai Yu's terrifying strength. Oh. So boring. So boring. When will there be an exciting war? It's lonely at the top. Bai Yu sat lazily on Bailong's body and returned to the medical team to rearrange a tent. The failure of the first small-scale battle between the Sand Ninja and the Rock Ninja made Shio and Unoki a little unhappy. Then the two of them conspired many plans, which once again made the situation equal. The war continued every day, and the Minato team also completed the espionage mission and successfully won over the Taki village. Although there are many rebellious ninjas in this village, they still cannot stop Xiangmu's heart. Minato's team came to Narashikaku's tent. After reporting the mission, except for Minato Namikaze, they needed to do some follow-up work. Kakashi, Uchiha Obito, and Nohara all ran to the medical unit to find Bai Yu. Teacher Bai Yu. Bai Yu. Teacher. When the three rushed into Bai Yu's tent, they saw Bai Yu at this moment, with his upper body naked, setting up a charcoal stove in the middle of the tent, and holding a skewer in his hand. Kakashi, Uchiha Obito, and Nohara were helpless when they saw this scene. We are fighting a war now, okay? Question mark? What is Teacher Bai Yu doing? How can it be like a vacation? Teacher, is it okay for you to do this? Urahibito said awkwardly. Haha. We have to improve the food. Haha. Come on, come on. Bai Yu smiled awkwardly at first, then raised the skewers in his hand, and said with a smile. Teacher, we are at war now. I always feel that this is a bit. Although Kakashi said this, his behavior was still very real. The first one came over, grabbed a bunch, and actually put down his mask. Wow. So handsome. Nohara-rin looked at Kakashi under the mask, and immediately turned on the fangirl mode. What's so handsome? Just like a woman. Just like a teacher. Urahibito heard Nohara-rin's words, and immediately said disdainfully. Then, Bai Yu's tent appeared in such a scene. A boy was tied to a wooden stake in the tent. Judging from the color of the wooden stake, it should be newly made. Another young man with a gentle appearance, smiled and grilled skewers, and then handed them to a girl and a silver-haired boy. The tied boy had tears in his eyes, and whimpered in his mouth, because his mouth was stuffed. It was really harmonious. But Nohara-rin was still a gentle and considerate girl. She left a lot of skewers for Urahibito and finally heated them up for him. Urahibito ate the skewers left for him by Nohara-rin with tears in his eyes. After the meal, Urahibito knelt down on Bai Yu's right side, respectfully like a filial son. The master and the apprentice chatted together. Teacher, why do you feel that you are not nervous about the war at all? Nohara-rin asked, puzzled. How should I put it? War is indeed very tense. If there is a slight mistake, everything will be lost. However, as the saying goes, there will always be a mistake. It is better to relax your mind, stay alert, and do everything you can. That's enough. Bai Yu thought about it, and said with a smile. Teacher, if you relax your mind, can you still stay alert? Urahibito asked weakly on the side. You all know what the dragon group is like in normal times. They laugh and joke all day long, and even talk and laugh when they are on missions. Bai Yu said. I know. I was wondering. When I went to my father's place, every Enbu ninja was very serious, and kept a high level of tension at all times. Kakashi said. When you take all dangers for granted, when you are full of vigilance in your bones, you will know why the dragon group is in this state. Do you know about the devilish training of the dragon group? Bai Yu asked. We asked Uncle Genji, but he just sighed deeply and said nothing. Nohara-rin said. This guy. Then I will quietly reveal some secrets to you. In fact, it is not a secret. Even if you know it, these tricks will only be upgraded, and will not be repeated. Bai Yu said with a smirk. In the first month, when the dragon group came, every day, every hour, you will face different encounters. It is possible that everyone is still chatting in the last second, and a ninjutsu will hit his face in the next second. It is also possible that he is sleeping, and the dormitory building is shaken by the ninjutsu. It is also possible that he will be poisoned in the next second while eating. If he is not treated in time, he will be poisoned to death in a moment. Haha. Very exciting. Bai Yu said with a slight smile. Oh my god, so evil. Who came up with this idea? I've never seen such a person in the dragon group. If I knew, I would definitely burn his hair with my flames. Urahibito said angrily. As soon as he said this, Nohara-rin and Kakashi looked at Urahibito with pity. Seeing Nohara-rin's eyes, Urahibito also realized it. He looked at Bai Yu with a pleading look. Bai Yu smiled slightly. Don't be nervous, it's okay. Bai Yu said with a smile. It was a dark and windy day. A big tree was planted in the center of the ninja team. Well, it was newly moved in. A bald boy, tied with a rope, floating in the air. Some tears, floating in the air. Teacher, I was wrong. Let me down. Woo woo. The Sand Ninja Battlefield and the Rock Ninja Battlefield, a junction. Chiyo and Inoki each led one or two subordinates to talk here. It's such a kitsch. Target Bai Yu. We have to think of some ways. Otherwise, it will be a big obstacle. Chiyo said angrily. Well, don't worry. I have already thought of a countermeasure. It should be here soon. Inoki floated in the air, closed his eyes, and said very calmly. Huh. Although Chiyo was puzzled, she didn't say anything. Instead, she waited silently and patiently. Not long after, a slight sound came from the distance. Inoki opened his eyes. He adjusted a direction in the air. Chiyo also looked in the direction of Inoki. Chiyo's eyes changed slightly. The person who came was the third Reikage! Exclamation mark. Blue lightning appeared beside Inoki, accompanied by a strong wind and dust. The third Reikage appeared. Chiyo saw the speed of the third Reikage, and her heart sank. The hateful third Reikage was still so powerful. If the war with Konoha is over, I'm afraid there will be another battle with the Cloud Ninja. Chapter 111 The Land of Thunder joins the war. Finally here. Reikage! Inoki said calmly. Yeah. The third Reikage was sturdy and had dark skin. A rough man. But he seemed very calm. It's such a Kage. What are your plans? Chiyo asked in a deep voice. Since everyone is here, then you two should listen to my plan. My plan is, the three villages will unite to fight against Konoha. The response of the Mist Ninja was very obscure. I guess they are waiting and watching. If our three villages unite to fight against Konoha, the Mist Ninja will surely intervene. Now the Sand Ninja and my Rock Ninja have already started a war with Konoha. I guess the Reikage has also obtained the information. I hope the Reikage will send troops as soon as possible. With the three villages united, Konoha will not be able to hold on for long under this situation. With the Mist Ninja who are waiting and watching, I believe that we will definitely win this war. Inoki said lightly. What about the supplies? How to distribute them? The third Reikage asked pointedly. Our three villages will send two ninjas to each other. Record the merits in our three camps. When the time comes, we will divide the supplies according to the merits. As for the Mist Ninja, if they contribute, we will give them some. If not, then there will be no need to divide them. Inoki said quickly. It can be seen that Inoki has been thinking about this matter for a long time. Well, it's okay. The Cloud Ninja will send troops to Konoha tomorrow. The third Reikage felt that what Inoki said was reasonable. As for striving for more supplies, we will talk about it after the war. The Cloud Ninja, who has always been famous for its fighting power, naturally will not think about the fair distribution of supplies. Naturally, whoever has the bigger fist will have the better words. Inoki thought in his heart that, if the Land of Lightning launched an offensive, Bai Yu would definitely be sent to support. The Uchiha clan and the Hyuga clan, as the two major families of Konoha, would definitely not let him get the merits of war again. When Bai Yu deals with you Cloud Ninjas, the Sand Ninjas and my Rock Ninjas will definitely have one less threat. The leaders of the three parties discussed some details of the war again, and then returned to the village to make adjustments. This time, the enemies that Konoha faces are not just the Sand Ninja and the Rock Ninja, but also the Cloud Ninja. Master Bai Yu, Master Hokage, I order you to lead the Dragon Group to support the battlefield where the Kingdom of Hot Springs and Konoha meet on the border. The Kingdom of Lightning has joined the war. Before the sun rises, a ninja standing outside the tent said anxiously. Bang! The curtain of the tent was lifted. Bai Yu appeared in front of the ninja. Silver grey long hair, delicate face. If the voice was not mismatched with his face, the ninja felt that he was in love. When did the Cloud Ninja start the war? Bai Yu asked seriously. The information obtained 20 minutes ago. The ninja said quickly. 20 minutes? Oh my. Who is resisting the Cloud Ninja army? Bai Yu asked with a frown. Master Jiraiya. What? That bastard is back. That's right, 20 minutes. Except for this guy. No one can send back information so quickly. Okay, I got it. You go ahead. I'll go now. After Bai Yu finished speaking, he turned around and put on his black light armor. Yes. The ninja hurried to Narashikaku to report the situation. Soon, Bai Yu stood majestically in front of the door of his tent. Changing from his previous laziness, a murderous aura was vaguely permeating around Bai Yu. In front of Bai Yu's tent, there were many ninjas from the medical team, as well as Kakashi, Bald Uchiha Obito, and Nohara. Teacher Kakashi, Uchiha Obito, and Nohara saw Bai Yu's appearance and knew that it was true, that Bai Yu was going to participate in the battle. People are like this. Everyone will know if there is a little movement. It happened suddenly. You three, go back to Minato Namikaze immediately. Kakashi, I know your ninja dogs are very well trained. You immediately notify Mikoto and tell her to take the brothers of the Dragon Group to the battlefield of the Kingdom of Soup. I need to go to support them immediately. Bai Yu said seriously. Yes, teacher. Kakashi saw Bai Yu's look and knew that this was the time to take it seriously. Bai Yu nodded. Summon the white dragon and rush to the battlefield of the Cloud Ninja. What's going on? Why did I come to the Kingdom of Soup to collect folk songs? Damn, I actually encountered such a thing. I don't know who the old man will send. But hurry up. I really can't hold on. At the border of the Kingdom of Soup, Jiraiya stood on the head of a big toad. Crazy release of large-scale ninjutsu. He had to do this. This time the Cloud Ninja's offensive was very fast and sudden. Although Sarutobi Hiruzen had already had a countermeasure. But support also takes time. Originally, Sarutobi Hiruzen arranged ninjas in the Sound Village and the Hot Spring Village through intelligence to prevent the attack of the Cloud Ninja. But the ninjas dispatched by the Cloud Ninja this time are obviously more than the intelligence said. Jiraiya led 2,000 Konoha ninjas to fight against the 5,000 Cloud Ninjas. It was really difficult. Huh? Could it be that guy Bai Yu? Take Tsukumo and Orochimaru are in the Sand Ninja, and Tsunade is also there. The three little guys, Ino, Shikacho, are in the Rock Ninja, and Minato is also there. That leaves Bai Yu. Jiraiya felt a little complicated for a while. However, Jiraiya, who is open-minded and unrestrained by nature, was only complicated for a moment. Then he continued to fight seriously. The war intensified. Konoha's ninjas have consumed too much. The Cloud Ninja has always been famous for its strong combat effectiveness, and it is indeed not a false rumor. Jiraiya's face was a little solemn for a while. No matter who it is, come to support quickly. Jiraiya shouted in his heart. The ground was full of debris. Originally there were 2,000 ninjas, and after a hard battle, although nearly 1,000 Cloud Ninjas were consumed. But now there are less than 600 people left. What made Jiraiya happy was that none of the 600 people were afraid, and no one retreated. They were all gritting their teeth, not afraid of life and death, and fighting to the death. Exclamation mark. Maybe they heard Jiraiya's voice. A large area of shadow appeared on the ground. All the ninjas looked up at the sky at the same time. A white dragon appeared in the air. Roar. Accompanied by the dragon's roar, the temperature in the air dropped by several degrees. Then, dark clouds gathered. It started to rain in the sky. The rain fell on the range of the Cloud Ninja army. The cold air suddenly rose. The unprepared ninja instantly turned into an ice sculpture. Zion Fa. Shu Miu. The cold air suddenly rose several levels. It was so cold that the temperature could no longer be felt. When you can't feel the temperature, you are already dead. A person jumped down from the dragon's head. Black eye circles and a take-eye pattern appeared between the eyebrows. It was Bai Yu wearing black armor. At this time, Bai Yu's eyes were full of murderous intent. Senjutsu. Fire and flame. Damn Cloud Ninja. Feel the double world of ice and fire. Today, I will give you a good time. Bai Yu shouted angrily. Exclamation mark. A light white mist appeared in the air. This was foggy weather caused purely by ninjutsu. Senjutsu. Sweep away the clouds with the wind. Fire borrowed the power of the wind, and Bai Long's cold air was also increasing the output. For a moment, the destructive power caused by Bai Yu was comparable to the full-strength ninja troops that had been ready all the time. With his own strength, he wiped out nearly 1,000 ninjas of the Cloud Ninja. Pulled the battle back. Master Bai Yu. Master Bai Yu. Master Bai Yu. For a moment, all the surviving Konoha ninjas shouted Bai Yu's name excitedly. They were saved. Chapter 112 Turning the Tide. Damn it. It's him. The captain of the Cloud Ninja attacking Konoha troops saw Bai Yu's appearance clearly, and his heart sank. He couldn't help but curse in his heart. Konoha Death God. Damn it. At this time, many experienced ninjas of the Cloud Ninja also recognized Bai Yu. Damn it. The Raikage's troops will not arrive until tomorrow. If the Raikage is here, maybe they can still fight against the Konoha Death God. However, even if you want to retreat, you have to take more Konoha ninjas with you. I can't kill you, Bai Yu, but can't I kill other ninjas? Humph. For a while, the ninjas of the Cloud Ninja began to change their tactics. Most of the ninjas released collective ninjutsu to contain Jiraiya and Bai Yu. The remaining Cloud Ninjas began to kill the remaining Konoha ninjas. But who is Bai Yu? The moment the Cloud Ninja appeared to move, He already understood the purpose of the Cloud Ninja. He frowned. He was really looking for death. Damn it. Immortal method. Thunderfall. Bai Yu raised his hand. The sky and the earth suddenly changed color. Strong lightning suddenly burst out. People can't help but block the strong light. Boom. With a loud noise, Bai Yu's ninjutsu took away the lives of many Cloud Ninjas. Sword control technique. One sword of thousands. Bai Yu raised the Bai Yu sword in his hand. The Bai Yu sword was filled with dark purple chakra. It turned into thousands of white feather swords, floating in the air. It made people feel cold. Sword rain. Bai Yu's eyes were filled with strong murderous intent, and he lowered his hand. Thousands of white feather swords, glowing with purple chakra, fell towards the Cloud Ninja troops like a violent storm. Swish, swish. Looking at Bai Yu's great power, Jiraiya finally breathed a sigh of relief and sat on the toad's head. Although the battle has not been long, Konoha can fight against the 5,000 Cloud Ninjas with 2,000 troops. That was completely supported by Jiraiya's release of large-scale ninjutsu to fight. He has become stronger again. Jiraiya looked at Bai Yu with a slightly complicated look and watched the battle from the side. Strangle. Bai Yu's eyes turned fierce. He raised his right hand and pointed his sword. The thousands of Bai Yu swords that were originally inserted into the ground were like a giant meat grinder. Wherever they passed, there was no intact corpse. Retreat. Retreat quickly. The original 5,000 Cloud Ninjas were consumed by Jiraiya. Now after Bai Yu's massacre, there are only 2,000 Cloud Ninjas left. Exclamation mark. No, less than 2,000. Because Bai Yu is still chasing. But when the Cloud Ninjas withdrew from the border of the Land of Fire, Bai Yu stopped chasing. There is a long way to go. Humph. Bai Yu exited the Sage mode, retracted the White Dragon, came to Jiraiya. At this time, the toads of Miyaboki Mountain had already gone back. Thank you for your hard work, Bai Yu. Thanks to you for arriving in time. Otherwise, it would be terrible. Jiraiya said with a smile. What are you talking about? If it weren't for your timely intelligence, I might not be able to arrive in time. Bai Yu also said with a smile. But, how did you appear here so timely? Bai Yu asked curiously. There are wars everywhere. It affects my collection of folk songs. I thought there was no war here. In the end, there was a war. Jiraiya said awkwardly. Collecting folk songs? Ha. You are amazing. Let's have a drink. Bai Yu understood. He said with a smile. Yeah. Okay. Having a little wine after the war is also a good reward. However, we can't go to the hot spring village. Where else can we go? Jiraiya said with a smile. Ha. You don't have wine. What a joke. I'll take care of the food, and you take care of the wine. Just over there. The scenery over there is pretty good. Bai Yu said, as if he saw through everything. Then he ran to the woods to hunt some game. Hey. I'm going to lose some of my treasured wine again. Jiraiya said helplessly, covering his forehead. But his actions were still very honest. He took out 2 jars of wine from the sealed scroll, ran to the place where Bai Yu said, put them away, and waited for Bai Yu to come back. After a while, Bai Yu came back with a wild boar. The harvest is not bad. With this big guy, we can have a good meal. Bai Yu said to Jiraiya with a smile. Well, what do you need my help with? Jiraiya looked at Bai Yu carrying the wild boar, and his appetite was also excited. No need. Don't you trust my barbecue skills? Haha. Bai Yu said. He found dry firewood very skillfully and then made a fire. He simply processed the wild boar and put it on the fire. After a while, the rich aroma of meat began to spread. Jiraiya was immediately in high spirits. Jiraiya is worthy of being the most dissolute ninja in history. After 3 cups of wine, the content of the conversation began to go off track. Bai Yu summarized it for Jiraiya, that he was a dissolute man throughout his life. I'm going to publish a book. Jiraiya said with a smile. Oh, you publish a book? Really? It can't be that kind of book, right? It's very likely. Bai Yu began to think secretly in his heart. Haha. It's not done yet. Now I'm just collecting folk songs and looking for inspiration. Haha. Jiraiya said with a smile. However, those articles you wrote about love really inspired me a lot. Jiraiya said afterwards. I haven't written any articles about that, Bai Yu said hurriedly. He had never written any articles suitable for Jiraiya. I remember that time it seemed that Shimura Danzo spread rumors behind your back, and your affair with Tsunade was criticized. Then after the article you wrote came out, it was widely circulated, and then it was banned by the old man. Jiraiya said. Ah. You are talking about this. Haha. Yes, I wrote it. Bai Yu touched his head awkwardly, and said with a smile. Wow. No way. Bai Yu, you actually. Jiraiya suddenly said exaggeratedly. Huh? What's wrong with me? Bai Yu asked in a daze. You actually like to collect folk songs too. Do you want to go together? With our strength, we guarantee that we will not be discovered. Do you want to go now? Jiraiya said ambiguously. I don't like your kind of folk songs. Bai Yu said with a black line on his head. Do you have any more advanced folk songs? Jiraiya said with bright eyes. I don't have any. Bai Yu had a few more black lines on his head. I didn't expect you to be so selfish, Bai Yu. If you have any, share them with us. Really? Jiraiya said with disdain. I really don't have any. Bai Yu said with a black line on his head. Bai Yu, really, this is very important to me. This is the source of my inspiration. If you have any. Before Jiraiya finished speaking, Bai Yu cut off a piece of barbecue and stuffed it directly into Jiraiya's mouth. Hot. So hot. You are crazy. Jiraiya quickly took out the barbecue and said while fanning his mouth. Eating can't stop your mouth. Then drink. Such a delicious wine. If you don't drink it, isn't it a waste? Bai Yu said unhappily. Then he drank a bowl of sake. Haha. That's right. By the way, how did you subdue Tsunade? I heard that Tsunade is becoming more and more feminine now. She is completely different from the old Tsunade. Jiraiya said with a smile. The open-minded Jiraiya had long seen it through. It's nothing. It's just suppression in various aspects. Women like they're meant to be outstanding. Especially a proud woman like Tsunade. Of course, this is based on feelings. Otherwise, it's useless to be outstanding. Bai Yu said with a smile. That's right. Haha. Jiraiya smiled and then started chatting with Bai Yu about Konoha and the ninja world. Chapter 113 Dragon Group's trap establishes its prestige. The next day, Bai Yu was appointed as the captain of the army against the Cloud Ninja. Bai Yu certainly couldn't let Jiraiya idle. He just wanted to go out to collect inspiration all day long. We are at war now. Can you be serious? On the third day after the large army sent by Sarutobi Hiruzen to fight against the Cloud Ninja arrived, Bai Yu finally held a meeting. Bai Yu said at the meeting that he was only responsible for the dragon group in the battle. Everything else was under the management of Jiraiya. Haha. I'm not good. Don't even think about it. Humph. Under Jiraiya's resentful eyes, Bai Yu silently walked out of the tent and came to Uchiha Makoto's tent. Makoto. I'm back. Bai Yu said with tenderness in his eyes. Hubby. The food is ready. I made it myself and brought it back. But I saw that the meeting over there hasn't ended yet and you came back. Isn't it a bit inappropriate? Uchiha Makoto took out 2 bento boxes and said considerately. It's okay. Jiraiya is just lazy. He has the ability, but he has to waste it. Bai Yu took one of the bentos handed over by Uchiha Makoto and smelled it. It smelled good. It was still a familiar smell, and this feeling was really reassuring. Come on, eat it too. It smells good. Bai Yu took a bite and said with a smile. Uchiha Makoto smiled slightly and ate with Bai Yu. Uchiha Makoto is such a girl. Not willful, not too many things. Everything is based on Bai Yu. Gentle, considerate, and virtuous. After dinner with Uchiha Makoto, Makoto made Bai Yu a cup of tea very considerately. Now this is wartime. Naturally you can't do something that lowers your vigilance. Bai Yu sat at the wooden table, thinking about how to prevent the attack of the Cloud Ninja. After all, he is now the captain of the Cloud Ninja Station District. Although he is a hands-off boss, he can't be too leisurely. After all, the responsibility is here, and it concerns the safety of many people. Bai Yu naturally can't ignore it. If a large-scale war breaks out, Bai Yu is very happy, and it will be enough to fight back home at one time. But war is not a joke after all, and many factors are involved. and now it is obvious that the war has just begun, with sufficient supplies and sufficient troops, and in terms of strength, it is impossible to decide the outcome in one battle. It is necessary to use a small force to do things, seize the opportunity, consume supplies, and consume troops. Steady and steady, nibbling away step by step. Wait until the end, the chance of winning becomes greater, and the final word is made, and one battle determines success or failure. However, defense cannot be ignored. It seems that the trap must be strengthened. In Bai Yu's opinion, the traps currently arranged by the Konoha ninjas seem to be very comprehensive, and the preventive measures are not bad. But, don't be sloppy. How can you fight a war without being sloppy? Massacre. Help me call the 8 people. Bai Yu raised a smirk at the corner of his mouth and said softly, okay. Uchiha Massacre was helping Bai Yu make the bed. When he heard Bai Yu's words, he smiled and said something, and then walked out of the tent. Soon, Uchiha Makoto brought the 8 members of the dragon group to the tent. Whitehead, what instructions do you have? Inozuka Goro was the first to speak. This time, I can finally show the power of our dragon group. Whitehead, if you have any work, just tell me. Uchiha Genji said with a smile. Ha. Don't worry. Listen to me. Bai Yu said with a heroic smile. The defensive traps in our battlefield. In my opinion, they are not cunning enough. In other words, they are not sinister enough. I will give you 8 people a task, which is to take all our brothers in the dragon group, and upgrade the traps for me. Make it as sinister as possible, and be cunning. To the extreme. Let the bastards of the Cloud Ninja, 10 people come in, and half of them go out. You must upgrade it for me within 3 days. Then I will take you 8 people to cause trouble. Bai Yu said sinisterly. Hehe. Got it. The 8 people said with a sinister smile at the same time. Get busy, brothers. You saw your cunningness in your life. Bai Yu raised his eyebrows and said meanly. Yes. Hehe. Honey. Isn't it too much to let the 8 of them do it? Will they be scolded if the war is over? Uchiha Makoto has been following Bai Yu to manage the dragon group since the beginning, and she knows these 8 people too well. It's more than just hiding. After Bai Yu's baptism of excellent routines in the 21st century, these 8 people can be said to be hiding gods. Being scolded? Oh, war is not a joke. Is face more important, or is it more important to be alive? Light is important, but fighting a war still depends on the brain. Hehe. This is called wisdom. Baby. Bai Yu tilted his head coquettishly, and his magnetic voice made Uchiha Makoto blush. In the next 2 days, the animals of the dragon group were, like they were on fire, running wildly all over the battlefield. Wherever they passed, the faces of the Konoha ninjas changed several colors. Because they were their own comrades, when the dragon group set up traps, they would naturally tell their own people. When the Konoha ninjas knew the traps set by the dragon group, they all broke into a cold sweat. Luckily, these people are our own people. If they were enemies, it would be troublesome. This gang of sun thieves is so insidious. Have you ever seen a leaf with densely engraved spells? Or is it a space type spell? Once triggered, there will be 10 super detonating talismans waiting for the enemy. Have you ever seen a trap that is obviously a trap? When you think you have seen through the trap, you have already fallen into the trap. Because in invisible places, there will be many disgusting and deadly traps waiting for you, with highly toxic sticky black liquids and a smell of shit. Touching it will kill you. And have you ever seen the kind of induction trap? The kind that is completely hidden and triggered by the changes in the surrounding atmosphere. And there are also several signs. Cloud Ninja Cemetery. Welcome to Bai. You can also live in it directly. Too arrogant. The people of the dragon group are also very hardworking. The upgrade of the trap was completed in 2 days. There are 3 layers of defense traps in total. However, the dragon group just upgraded the trap. It won the first credit! Exclamation mark. In different directions, there were 10 Cloud Ninja teams, planning to raid Konoha's logistics and medical forces. When they sneaked in, they were wiped out before the second trap set by the dragon group. And they died inexplicably. They didn't even know how they died. Finally, the Cloud Ninjas desperately collected relevant intelligence again, and then they found out. All the Cloud Ninja teams that acted secretly died in the traps set by the dragon group under Bai Yu. The third Raikage was the supreme leader. Naturally, he got the intelligence. This rough man was so angry that black smoke was coming out of his nose, and he was furious. The third Raikage ordered that no action should be taken without safety guarantees, and the third Raikage decided to lead the team to attack the Konoha troops in person. Of course, this was only a superficial attack. While secretly destroying the traps, he also lurked in several Cloud Ninja teams. I have to say that this rough man is really rough but meticulous. At this time, Bai Yu insidiously led the 8 people of the dragon group to make trouble. Chapter 114. The Raikage comes in person. Genji, Asakawa, Ichigo, Hiji, go here and get the Cloud Ninja logistics supplies. Be careful, retreat immediately when you encounter danger. Just use the super detonating tag to destroy it. Return to the camp immediately after you are done. In a forest, Bai Yu and the 8 people were looking at the map while giving tasks. Yes, the 4 said, after writing down the address. Action. Bai Yu nodded. The 4 figures disappeared quickly. Akira, you follow this route to block the enemy's logistics transportation route. Except for obtaining the necessary supplies for yourself, all others will be destroyed. Remember that this route should be the main line. Be careful. Return to the camp after destroying it once, and don't fight to the end. Bai Yu pointed to several points on the map and said, yes. Akira agreed and wrote down the route. Then he left quickly. Koa, you go here. Same. Retreat once, don't fight to the end. Bai Yu pointed to another route. Yes. Inozuka Koa took action. Kyokumo, Chizuru, you are responsible for finding the location of the Cloud Ninja tailed beast. Remember, the tailed beast is very sensitive, so be careful. If there is anything wrong, retreat immediately. I will give you 3 days. When the 3 days are up, no matter what, return to the camp immediately. Bai Yu said seriously. Yes. Yes. Kurama Kyokumo and Aburame Chizuru disappeared quickly. Bai Yu looked at several locations on the map. He couldn't help but smile. Frontline troops? I hope they can be more durable. Lord Third Raikage, don't cry alone. Bai Yu's goal is to weaken the power of the frontline troops with his own strength. Bai Yu put away the map. In order to hide, Bai Yu did not summon the white dragon. Instead, he transformed into a purple flash and headed for the destination. Hey, the enemy this time is Bai Yu, who is known as the god of death of Konoha. I don't know if I can defeat him. A ninja on guard said to another ninja. I heard that in the raid a few days ago, Bai Yu, the devil, killed 1,000 people by himself. It was terrifying. Ah. Hey. Hearing you say that, I'm glad. I'm on guard. TSK. You know, Lord Raikage is also very powerful. That time it was because Lord Raikage was not there. If he was there, we don't know who would win or lose. That's right. Lord Raikage's speed and destructive power are civilized in the ninja world. Just as the 2 ninjas were talking, danger was approaching quietly. Quick battle and quick decision. Let's all die. Bai Yu held the Bai Yu sword and turned into a purple flash. Looking at the frontier troops of the Cloud Ninja from the sky, for a while, a purple flash was actively passing through various places in the frontier troops of the Cloud Ninja. Wherever Bai Yu passed, no one was left. When the purple flash disappeared, the frontier positions were left with only corpses on the ground, and all life breath disappeared. Except for Zio KO, of course. Bai Yu. Damn it. The plan is being carried out ahead of schedule. I can't wait any longer. I want Bai Yu to die without a burial place. The third Raikage roared with his teeth bared. Yes. Several ninjas began to execute the orders given by the Raikage. Come. Drink. You all did a good job. I went to Jiraiya to ask for 2 pots of wine. You can't drink more, just these 2 pots. After all, we are still fighting. In Uchiha Mikoto's tent, the 8 people who completed the mission returned. Bai Yu felt that the brothers had done a good job. He quickly ran to Jiraiya to coerce and bribe him, and deducted 2 pots of wine. Beitao, you don't know. This mission is simply too simple. After drinking a glass, Uchiha Genji began to tell about his experience of drinking Hinata Asakawa's mission. Others also told the details of the mission one by one. It can also be regarded as a disguised report of the mission briefing. Master Bai Yu, the Raikage is coming. Master Jiraiya wants you to discuss. A ninja stood outside Uchiha Mikoto's tent and shouted anxiously. Yes, I know. Bai Yu replied. Genji, take the dragon group to lurk on the edge of the battlefield. Once the war starts, launch an assassination. One strike will kill. If you miss, retreat immediately and then find another opportunity. Hurry up and act. Bai Yu said seriously. At this time, everyone was no longer drunk as before. They were all energetic and extremely serious. Yes. The 8 people walked out of the tent quickly. Hubby, be careful. Uchiha Makoto helped Bai Yu put on the light armor and said gently. Yes. Bai Yu kissed Uchiha Makoto on the forehead, then said with a smile. Bai Yu walked out of the tent and changed his expression. He walked into the main account seriously. You are here. Seeing Bai Yu, Jiraiya said seriously. Well, the war is urgent. I will be responsible for fighting against the Reikage, and you will be responsible for the rest. I have asked the dragon team to lurk around the battlefield first, waiting for an opportunity to assassinate. Bai Yu said directly. Okay, I order. In addition to the ninja troops originally responsible for defense, do a good job of defense. The rest of the ninjas, set off. Jiraiya was not vague and said with a big wave of his hand. After hearing Jiraiya's words, I realized that Jiraiya had been prepared for a long time. It seems that Jiraiya also knows my character. Not bad. Haha. Bai Yu thought to himself. After everyone checked the supplies, the army walked out of the camp. Jiraiya summoned Gamabunta, and Bai Yu summoned the white dragon. Looking at the 2 summoned beasts and the 2 men on the backs of the summoned beasts, the Konoha ninja army felt as if they had taken a reassurance pill. Morale was high. Every ninja's face was full of fighting spirit. It suddenly rained lightly in the sky. A depressing atmosphere arose. But this did not affect the encounter between the Cloud Ninja and Konoha troops. The open grassland. The Reikage was covered in blue lightning chakra armor and rushed to the front quickly. Thousands of Cloud Ninjas followed behind him. On the Konoha side, a white dragon was flying in the sky. On the ground, a huge toad kept jumping. Although the number of ninjas behind was not as many as the Cloud Ninjas. But when it comes to morale, Konoha is the most prosperous! Exclamation mark. Bai Yu. The Reikage locked his eyes on Bai Yu from a distance. A roar. Why are you calling your grandpa? In the sky. Bai Yu said loudly a word that deserved a beating. Looking for death. The Reikage was furious at Bai Yu's words. But what should Bai Yu do in the air? But this is not a problem for him as a Reikage. The 3rd generation Reikage bent his legs slightly and condensed a large amount of lightning chakra. Bang! The Reikage exerted force suddenly. The huge force made the Reikage like a cannonball. He rushed directly to Bai Yu in the air. Old thief. You are so fierce. Xiao Bei, bite him for me. Bai Yu said with a smile as he looked at the flying Reikage. I can't beat him now. He's very strong. Although not as strong as the old guy last time, I can't fight him now. Bailong said honestly. Ah, is that so? That's fine. You go help Jiraiya to fight those shrimp soldiers and crab generals. I'll deal with him. Bai Yu said helplessly. What about you? Bailong looked up at the sky. Did you forget? I know sword control. I was too lazy to fly because you were here before. Bai Yu drew out the Bai Yu sword and said with a smile. Ah, I forgot. I'm used to carrying you. After Bailong finished speaking, he rushed to the ground with a dive. Oh my god, you should say something. Bai Yu lost his balance and fell off Bailong's dragon head. But Bai Yu didn't panic. He raised his hand and threw the Bai Yu sword out. The Dharma Eye opened and the right hand pointed the sword, controlling the Bai Yu sword to become bigger in the air. The Bai Yu sword, which was glowing with purple light, turned around and came to Bai Yu's feet. He caught Bai Yu steadily. Chapter 115 Ab brothers appear. Son thief. Can you touch me? Bai Yu looked at the parabola of the Reikage, which had already begun to fall, and said proudly. Humph. The chakra on the Reikage's body surged rapidly. The descending Reikage took a step in the air with force. His figure stopped for a moment. Then he took another step. The Reikage suddenly rose a little distance. Oh my god, this is all possible? Bai Yu was stunned when he saw this. This Reikage is really a genius. Using the impact force as a boost to achieve a step in the air. Bai Yu, die. The Reikage began to run quickly, using the dense impact force to rush towards Bai Yu. I really don't want to bully you. Hey. Bai Yu looked at the running Raikage and said helplessly. Immortal method. Thunderfall. If I don't bully you, who can I bully? Haha. Who made you my enemy? The Sage mode was released instantly. Bai Yu raised his hand and a fairy method was released. How shameless. Humph. Seeing this, the Raikage frowned, and the lightning armor on his body suddenly condensed several times. He resisted Bai Yu's magic. Oh. Really powerful. Magic. Sweep away everything. Bai Yu drove the sharp wind to attack the Raikage. HMPH. Four-pointed hand. The Raikage raised four fingers while running. In addition to stabilizing Leike's chakra, the rest of the chakra emitted was instantly condensed on the four fingers. Copying Chidori? He's such an adult, and he's still copying, but why is there no movement when he uses Chidori? Bai Yu frowned slightly and thought. Swish. Bai Yu's magic was cut in half by the Raikage. Ouch. There's something. Bai Yu's eyes lit up when he saw this. Magic. Fire and flame. Bai Yu once again performed a magic. Two-pointed hand. The Raikage saw the magic performed by Bai Yu, and his eyes were also serious. Directly skip the three-pointed hand. There is no doubt that the magic was cut again. Hey me. Try this again. Immortal technique. Fire Thunder 9 Heavens. Bai Yu was anxious. The immortal Fire Thunder chakra on his body was all over his body. The dark clouds above his head began to gather crazily. Dark purple electric currents flowed in the clouds. Slowly, the dark purple lightning began to grow thicker. Boom! Exclamation mark. Crack. A purple dark lightning as thick as a water tank struck the Raikage. One-pointed hand. The Raikage's face was gloomy, and the chakra of his whole body was immediately condensed to the index finger of his right hand. Even Leike took it back. The Raikage was finally knocked to the ground. However, the immortal technique released by Bai Yu was still cut in half by the strongest spear of the Raikage. Oh my god, is the Raikage so strong? Divine spell. Bai Yu controlled the Bai Yu sword and rushed towards the Raikage. He muttered spiritual words in his mouth. Fix. Seal. Trap. Illusion. Kill. Bai Yu cast a divine spell that he had never cast before. As soon as he spoke, 5 talismans appeared out of thin air, emitting strange energy fluctuations and flying towards the Raikage. The Raikage's lightning armor condensed on his body again, and his speed increased suddenly. Bai Yu's 5 talismans hit the air. The Raikage seized the opportunity and rushed towards the descending Bai Yu. Bang! The Raikage punched Bai Yu. The powerful impact forced Bai Yu to recall the white feather sword to resist, but Bai Yu also returned to the ground. The Raikage seized the opportunity and attacked swiftly. It was as if he was avenging Bai Yu's previous despicable behavior, bullying him for not being able to fly. But Bai Yu didn't care. It was just right. Let's see if the Raikage's lightning armor was powerful, or his own immortal lightning chakra was powerful. Dark purple chakra instantly covered Bai Yu's whole body, as well as the white feather sword. Unlike the Raikage's active armor with the strongest shield, Bai Yu's chakra, on the other hand, extremely increased speed and destructive power. The world's martial arts, only speed can't be broken. The battle at one end of the battlefield attracted the attention of many ninjas. Blue figure, purple figure, collision, separation, and collision. It was not the sound of fists hitting flesh. It was the harsh sound of metal friction. Clanging and powerful. Bang. After another powerful collision, the figures of Raikage and Bai Yu quickly separated. This Bai Yu is really strong. No wonder that old Mananoki asked me, the Cloud Ninja, to join the battle. What a good plan. Lei Yin thought to himself, looking at Bai Yu with a gloomy face. Old man. Come again. Bai Yu shouted arrogantly. Humph. Who is the 3rd generation Raikage? The word hard runs through his whole life. He directly transformed into an armor that enhanced the lightning release and attacked Bai Yu. Humph. Let me show you my Bai Yu swordsmanship. It is recognized as the strongest swordsmanship by Madara. Bai Yu's face became extremely fierce. Swordsmanship is not good. Raikage is a thunder turtle, and swordsmanship alone will definitely not break that layer of defense. Bai Yu thought to himself. Go crazy. Immortal thunder chakra. Condensation. Bai Yu condensed his chakra on the Bai Yu sword. Sure. Sizzle. Buzzzy. The chakra on the Bai Yu sword became more and more condensed, as if the Bai Yu sword was originally a long sword with a dark purple blade. Old man, die. Bai Yu made a strange move. He increased his speed by another level. The name of Purple Flash was once again officially certified. Bang, crack. The sharp sword energy. In this collision with the Thunder Shadow, it successfully cut a crack in the Thunder Release armor on the Thunder Release armor's arm. The Thunder Release armor's face changed immediately. For the first time, someone was able to cut a crack in his Thunder Release armor. The Thunder Release armor's heart sank, and he reinforced it again. Thunder bastard. You are really hard. Come again. Bai Yu frowned and cursed. I thought that such an attack force could shatter the Thunder Release armor of the Thunder Release armor, but I didn't expect that it would only cut a crack. Then, the blue figure and the purple figure collided rapidly again. This time the sound was much smaller, but the danger was indeed much greater. The voice was low, because the attack was more concentrated. Father. Damn it. Cry me Yalu. Baka Yalu. How dare you hurt the third Raikage. Damn it. Yoho HMM. A roar, plus a weird rap. It made Bai Yu feel uncomfortable. A boy who looked like the third Raikage. Plus a boy wearing sunglasses with a furious face and making the 6+1 gesture with his hands. His body was smaller than the previous boy. AI. B. Why are you here? Go back quickly. The Raikage saw the two boys. His face suddenly changed, looked at Bai Yu vigilantly, and said hurriedly, HMM. Urbi. Bai Yu gritted his teeth and his face flushed. The atmosphere of the war was really too serious, and Bai Yu didn't want to destroy this serious atmosphere. Ha. Sorry, I really can't hold it back. Bai Yu covered his stomach and laughed helplessly. Hey, that woman. Are you laughing at us? AI looked at Bai Yu and said loudly, HMM. Women. The sound of women filled Bai Yu's spiritual senses. Oh my god. Black boy. You are really looking for death. Bai Yu was angry. He waved the 40-meter long Bai Yu sword. He slashed at AI. Cloud Ninja retreat. Retreat. The Raikage's face changed, and he shouted angrily. Then he turned into a blue lightning, and attacked Bai Yu. Kamiaru, Bikaelu. Zaoba. Let's destroy the bad guys together. Yoho. B danced for a while, and then a red-tailed beast coat began to appear on his body. He rushed towards Bai Yu. HMM. Tailed beast coat. Tailed beast power bank. Haha, it's easy to get it. Bai Yu was shocked. He dodged the Raikage with a flash. He went straight to B. AI. Retreat quickly. You are not Bai Yu's opponent. Even I can't do anything to him. The third generation Raikage shouted angrily with a gloomy face. Bang. The Raikage exploded again and knocked Bai Yu back. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 116, The Sudden Financial Crisis. Looking at the fleeing Cloud Ninja army, Bai Yu was furious. He was about to rush up and kill that black guy. You, where are you going? Jiraiya grabbed Bai Yu and asked. Let me go. I'm going to chop off that black guy named AI. You're so bold. You dare to call me a woman. Bai Yu said angrily. Looking at Bai Yu's angry look, Jiraiya blocked Bai Yu's voice. A pair of narrow eyes, long eyelashes, watery, clear eyes, delicate nose and not too big mouth. And Bai Yu's skin is unusually smooth and white. Jiraiya swallowed his saliva. Huh. What are you thinking about? Bai Yu felt a chill on his back when he looked at Jiraiya's eyes. What a pity. It's just that this voice is too mismatched. Otherwise, Bai Yu, you are definitely a stunning beauty in the ninja world. Jiraiya said with a sigh. Oh my god. Jiraiya. Come on. We haven't had a fight before. I'll help you sober up. Bai Yu put the Bai Yu sword back into the scabbard. He twisted his wrist and neck, said something, and didn't wait for Jiraiya to say anything. He directly shot Jiraiya's left eye with the Nai cannon. Come on, the right eye must be symmetrical too. Bai Yu turned Jiraiya into a panda with lightning speed. Then the two of them started fighting each other without using chakra. Jiraiya was not a dry meal. He kicked Bai Yu with footprints all over his body. Bai Yu defended his face emphatically, but there was no trace of scars. Come on, drink. The friendship between men is so simple. After a fight, Bai Yu, who was covered with footprints, and Jiraiya, who was bruised and swollen, drank and got drunk. Poor Jiraiya, all the fine wines he collected were drunk by Bai Yu. He also fell down. Jiraiya was helped back to the tent by Bai Yu. Before leaving, Bai Yu looked at Jiraiya with disdain. I can get drunk just by drinking a little water. TSK. Then she returned to Uchiha Mikoto's tent proudly. Uchiha Mikoto received the news of the victory in the war and made the bed for Bai Yu early. It's good to have a wife, but the premise is to have a gentle, considerate, and virtuous wife. If it's someone like Kushina, it's terrifying to think about it. Minato, I will mourn for you spiritually. Bai Yu thought about it. Then he hugged the beauty and fell asleep. Autumn. Namikaze Minato, who was far away in the rock ninja battlefield, sneezed. Who missed me? I guess it was Kushina. Haha. Namikaze Minato smiled and turned over to continue sleeping. After that, time passed little by little. Spring went and autumn came. In the blink of an eye, it was the 41st year of Konoha. The ninja world war lasted for so long. The world fell into a period of material scarcity again. The friction between the 4 villages in the middle has been continuing, but they are all small-scale frictions. There is no large-scale war, but some happy events have also happened. Hatake Kakashi was promoted to Chunin. Kakashi did not pass the battle merit, but passed the assessment after returning to the village. Uchiha Obito, Nohara, and Might Guy all participated, but they were eliminated in the final environment. Uchiha Shizu is needless to say. He has long earned the title of Flicker Shizu on the battlefield of the Sand Ninja. With a ghostly Flicker Shizu technique, no one can be a match for Uchiha Shizu unless their strength is much greater than Uchiha Shizu. Uchiha Shizu was directly rated as a Chunin by a letter of appointment. However, because it was during the war, Uchiha Shizu wanted to run to Bai Yu to share this joy, but unfortunately, the distance between the Sand Ninja battlefield and the Cloud Ninja battlefield was too far. Bai Yu, as Uchiha Shizu's teacher, sent someone to give Uchiha Shizu a letter and a gift. When Uchiha Shizu saw the gift Bai Yu gave him, he was shocked! Bai Yu sword. No, it was newly made, and there were 4 words engraved on the hilt, Flicker Shizu. Uchiha Shizu, seeing this sword, was excited. Teacher! In Uchiha Shizu's heart, this sword is the most important gift in his life. And Kakashi, Bai Yu also gave a gift. Kakashi has the Konoha White Fang given by Hatake Tsukumo, and with Bai Yu's generosity, the quality of Konoha White Fang has already been upgraded by several levels. Bai Yu gave Hatake Kakashi a sealing scroll. When Hatake Kakashi opened the scroll, his originally calm dead fish eyes revealed an excited expression. There are 3 pieces of information in the scroll. The first piece of information is about the transformation of water attribute chakra and the quick method of perceiving the changes in the nature of water attribute chakra. The second piece of information is a method for the safe fusion of water attribute chakra and lightning attribute chakra. Thus, the blood limit storm escape is derived! The third piece of information is a storm escape ninjutsu. Low consumption continuous control storm escape chain. Hold the enemy and let the enemy continue to paralyze. The second ninjutsu is an upgraded version of Chidori Reikiri, which not only improves the control power, but also greatly reduces the consumption. Storm Escape, Storm Blade. The third one is the extremely low cost Storm Release secret level ninjutsu. With the divine spell, it can mobilize the power of heaven and earth, and send down a thunder to attack the enemy. Because of the water attribute chakra, this attack is continuous damage. And Bai Yu marked how to pronounce the spiritual language at the back, just like how he marked it when learning English before. The name of this ninjutsu is Storm Release, Heavenly Punishment. Later, Bai Yu also explained in detail how to use Storm Release chakra in swordsmanship. This made Hatake Kakashi hold the scroll, run back to the tent, and silently shed tears. He was moved. Extremely moved. Kakashi knew that Bai Yu's approach was undoubtedly a gift to Kakashi. Once this scroll is lost, 5 years later, it may not be used for 5 years, and there will definitely be a powerful ninja famous in the ninja world. This scroll is simply a scroll that can change your life. Teacher Bai Yu. Deep in Kakashi's heart, Bai Yu's shadow is deeply imprinted here. Kakashi will never forget Bai Yu in his life. If Bai Yu knew about this, he would definitely say with a smile, "Brother, don't be like this. I have plenty of such cheats. Want to buy one? Very cheap. It can fly, hide, lock heads, and do anything." Haha. Of course, this is just the author writing it with excitement. Let's get back to the point. Just when the two teenagers were excited about Bai Yu's gift, Konoha was facing a crisis again. This crisis did not come from the war. It was a financial crisis. The daimyo of the Land of Fire knew that Konoha village was at war with the four countries at this moment. Even if the economy of the Land of Fire was good, facing the materials consumed by the battles on all sides, he couldn't help but have a headache. The daimyo wrote a letter to Sarutobi Hiruzen. I won't read what the content was. There were only a few useful sentences, and 10 pages of paper were full of compliments. The general meaning was that the materials were consumed too much, and too much money was invested. From today on, the material and financial support will be reduced by 20%. Don't underestimate this 20%. For a war, even if you reduce it by half, it will be a troublesome thing. For a while, Sarutobi Hiruzen, who was originally ruddy and shiny because of the continuous good news, his face turned black immediately. The Hokage's office once again became a wonderland, filled with smoke. It was not a place for people to stay. It was too choking. Helplessly, Sarutobi Hiruzen had to write a letter and send it to Bai Yu. Because Bai Yu was the richest man in Konoha, and Bai Yu was also very smart in business. Even the Nera family couldn't compare. Thinking of this, Sarutobi Hiruzen couldn't help but wonder, what on earth did Bai Yu become? Chapter 117 Sarutobi Hiruzen's Choice. Bai Yu lay on Uchiha Mikoto's legs, reading the letter sent by Sarutobi Hiruzen. Uchiha Mikoto gently massaged Bai Yu's head. Financial crisis? 20% less supplies? 20% less financial resources? Oh my god, the daimyo is crazy. Bai Yu fluttered and left Uchiha Mikoto's legs. Standing on the ground, frowning. Husband, don't talk nonsense. Uchiha Mikoto heard Bai Yu's words and quickly covered Bai Yu's mouth with her little hand and said, "Mew." Bai Yu kissed Uchiha Mikoto's hand. Uchiha Mikoto rolled her eyes at Bai Yu. I said he was crazy, and it was not without reason. The ninjas fought hard on the front line, while the daimyo enjoyed wealth and luxury at home. Now the supplies and financial resources have been reduced by 20%. What does this mean? Originally, we could use 10 shurikens, but now we can only use 8. The enemy uses 10, but we have 2 less. It's like the enemy can eat 10 buns, but we can only eat 8. It seems a small gap, but this gap will slowly become a big gap over time. It is very likely to lead to the failure of the war. If you want to urge the end of the war, you don't need this method. Bai Yu frowned and said, "Ah, so serious? What should we do?" Bai Yu said it very simply and clearly. Uchiha Mikoto was not stupid and immediately understood the problem. There are 2 solutions. The first is a temporary solution, and the other is a permanent solution. But I think, with the character of the Hokage, I guess he will choose a temporary solution. Bai Yu said in a deep voice. What is the solution? Uchiha Mikoto asked. The temporary solution is for the top management and the families to supplement 20% of the materials and financial resources. Judging from the current situation of the top management and the families in Konoha, it is not a problem to support it for a few years. The permanent solution is to break away from the economic control of the Fire Country and become an independent economy. Launch economic reforms. This method is likely to be resisted by the Fire Country Daimyo Mansion, but I can have a countermeasure to ensure that the resistance is useless. However, Lord Hokage is no longer as decisive and resolute as he was when he was young, and he will never agree to this method. Bai Yu said slowly. Then the temporary solution is not bad. Why do I feel that you, my husband, are more inclined to the latter? As Bai Yu's pillow, Uchiha Mikoto must know Bai Yu very well. Through Bai Yu's words, she guessed Bai Yu's thoughts. Economic independence, what does it mean? It means that you have to look at the face of the daimyo mansion at all times. Brothers sacrifice every day here, and the other side says to reduce support. This behavior is very cowardly. But you can't say anything yet. Once you express dissatisfaction, the group of termites in the daimyo mansion are likely to give up and reduce logistical support again. It is also possible that they will simply not support you in order to make you bow your head. Bai Yu said this with a bad face. Then what should we do? Uchiha Mikoto heard Bai Yu's words and felt that what Bai Yu said made sense. I will write both methods in the reply letter and then write down the pros and cons. Hokage-sama will definitely know my thoughts. If Hokage-sama really chooses a temporary solution, I think Hokage-sama should choose to abdicate after the war. Bai Yu said, after thinking for a moment. How could it be? Why did Hokage-sama abdicate? After reading the letter, Uchiha Mikoto was puzzled when she heard this. Choosing is also a way to make your mind clear. When Hokage-sama read my analysis and chose a temporary solution, it means that Hokage-sama knows that he is old and wants to seek stability. But as a Hokage, you can't just seek stability, you also have to consider the future development of Konoha and other factors. Knowing his own mentality, Hokage-sama will definitely make the right choice, but the premise is that Hokage-sama is not a person who covets power. Bai Yu said with wisdom in his eyes. It's so complicated. Husband, how is your brain made? How can you think of so many things in an instant? Uchiha Mikoto said with a bewildered look. Hey, I haven't studied the structure for a long time. My little Mikoto doesn't even know what the structure of my brain is. It seems that it is necessary to thoroughly understand the structure. Bai Yu said with a raised mouth. Hey. Sure enough, it was right that there were no girls in the military camps during the war in ancient times. The next day, Bai Yu was full of energy and removed the restrictions in the tent. Then he wrote a letter and sent someone to send it back to Konoha and handed it to Sarutobi Hiruzen. After that, Bai Yu stayed in the tent all day with Uchiha Mikoto. Well, Sarutobi Hiruzen saw the letter sent back by Bai Yu. He was relieved in his heart, but when he saw Bai Yu's words later, he was filled with emotion. You boy, are you reminding me indirectly? Or are you observing my attitude? You are getting smarter and smarter. Hey. Sarutobi Hiruzen instantly understood what Bai Yu meant. For a moment, Sarutobi Hiruzen felt both relieved and bitter. He was relieved by Bai Yu's growth and the changes in the village. He was bitter because he had few old friends left and he was getting old. His former ambitions were no longer there. In this way, Sarutobi Hiruzen spent the whole afternoon thinking. It was not until late at night that Sarutobi Hiruzen picked up a pen and wrote a letter back to Bai Yu. I will convene a meeting with the top management and various families on logistics and supplies. What do you think about the future? This time the letter was simple, but also very clear. Sarutobi Hiruzen was asking Bai Yu about the candidate for Hokage. After the Anbu ninja left with the letter, Sarutobi Hiruzen also walked out of the Hokage building dejectedly and walked towards his home. Bai Yu saw Sarutobi Hiruzen's reply. He sighed. Do you really have to choose this way? Bai Yu really didn't want Sarutobi Hiruzen to make this decision. What's wrong, husband? Uchiha Mikoto said, wrapping around Bai Yu's back like an octopus. Hokage-sama has chosen a temporary solution. Bai Yu said with a wry smile. This. Uchiha Mikoto no longer had any playful thoughts and got off Bai Yu. She went to make tea for Bai Yu. Since Sarutobi Hiruzen had chosen this, Bai Yu had no choice but to follow Sarutobi Hiruzen's wishes and began to think about the candidate for Hokage. After thinking for a long time, Bai Yu drank a sip of the tea made by Uchiha Mikoto. He began to write a reply to Sarutobi Hiruzen. Hokage, I feel a little regretful, but I respect your choice. I'm not talented, but I'm bold enough to give you advice. I hope that Hokage will consider it. I myself have a stain, so I cannot be a candidate for Hokage. Tsunade is my wife. Although she is suitable, she cannot be selected until the last minute. Jiraiya, although capable, has an unruly personality and is not suitable. Orochimaru is an excellent candidate, but he is a double-edged sword and needs to be cautious. Although he has not revealed his shortcomings, he needs to think deeply. Family members must not be selected. Namikaze Minato, a disciple of Jiraiya, is humble and friendly. Regardless of his identity, strength, and merits, he is the only candidate for Hokage. This is Yu's personal suggestion, and I hope it can help Hokage. Bai Yu wrote this letter himself. Bai Yu wrote the letter and sent someone to give it to Sarutobi Hiruzen. He exhaled and crawled into bed. Chapter 118, Mist Ninja joins the battle. In this way, the originally tense financial crisis was successfully resolved under Bai Yu's advice. The war is still going on. In the late autumn of the 41st year of Konoha, the weather was clear and cool. It was the most tense season during the war. Every day, Bai Yu wore black light armor and was ready to fight at any time. But to Bai Yu's disappointment, there was no chance to make a move. Bai Yu didn't know that the Mist Ninja had also started a war against Konoha. Hokage. Urgent information. The Mist Ninja led his troops to launch a war against Konoha. They will arrive at the site of the Whirlpool country in one day. A ninja rushed into the Hokage's office anxiously, handed the intelligence scroll to Sarutobi Hiruzen and said hurriedly. Sarutobi Hiruzen's expression changed, and he didn't speak, but flipped through the intelligence scroll. After reading it, Sarutobi Hiruzen pondered for a moment, and said to the ninja, immediately, please ask the Hyuga clan leader and the Uchiha clan leader to come to my office. Yes. The ninja knew that the matter was urgent, and he responded and ran to execute Sarutobi Hiruzen's order. Mist Ninja, you came at the right time. The financial crisis has just been resolved, and you're here to get involved. Sarutobi Hiruzen said softly with a gloomy face, and began to think about how to deal with the follow-up matters. Knock, knock, knock. The knock on the door brought Sarutobi Hiruzen back to his senses. Come in. Sarutobi Hiruzen said loudly. Hokage-sama. Hyuga Hayashi and Uchiha Fugaku walked into Sarutobi Hiruzen's office and said seriously. Today, Hyuga Hayashi and Uchiha Fugaku are increasingly like the heads of the clan. Hyuga Hayashi is needless to say. Who would have thought that the mentally retarded Uchiha Fugaku would now have a calm and wise look in his eyes. Here, please sit down. I have something to discuss with you two. Sarutobi Hiruzen led Hyuga Hayashi and Uchiha Fugaku to the reception table next to him. Mist Ninja has joined the war. Sarutobi Hiruzen said seriously. This is intelligence. Sarutobi Hiruzen handed the intelligence scroll to Hyuga Hayashi and Uchiha Fugaku. Hearing this, Hyuga Hayashi and Uchiha Fugaku did not speak after reading the intelligence, but their faces became serious. The matter is urgent. I will not beat around the bush. Learn Bai Yu's way of talking. Now the remaining fighting force of Konoha is only your two clans. I hope you can fight against the Mist Ninja. Sarutobi Hiruzen proposed Bai Yu to play the emotional card. The old guy knew that Bai Yu was very popular in the village. Now Konoha can only pull out two powerful clans to fight. The reason why Sarutobi Hiruzen chose this way of talking is that people have to bow their heads under the eaves. If there are other forces that can be pulled out in the village, Sarutobi Hiruzen promises that he will never use the two powerful clans. However, it is related to the life and death of Konoha, and Sarutobi Hiruzen has to do it. Well, no problem. Now my Hyuga clan has the help of Bai Yu, and the fate of the family has been freed. Moreover, I feel very comfortable in the village now. I'm willing to fight for the village. Hyuga Hiruzen's words are very meaningful. First, the village did not give us Hyuga Hiruzen much help. Second, it was Bai Yu who helped us solve the fundamental problem. Third, even the changes in the village have changed because of Bai Yu. Fourth, he was asking Sarutobi Hiruzen what benefits he could give to the Hyuga clan. Fifth, after all, there is no free lunch in the world. You have not helped my Hyuga clan much in terms of material, and you have been suppressing Hyuga Hayashi in spirit for so long. If I don't give you some benefits, I can't report to the people in the clan. Well, my idea is similar to that of the Hyuga clan. Not to mention the Uchiha clan. You are just about to clear our Uchiha clan out of Konoha village. If it weren't for Bai Yu, who knows how you would bully our Uchiha clan. Materially, it was thanks to Bai Yu that we were able to improve. And spiritually, Konoha's treatment of the Uchiha clan is even more cruel than that of the Hyuga clan. Hearing this, Sarutobi Hiruzen had a headache. I knew it. In fact, Sarutobi Hiruzen had already guessed the words of the two clans. Although you said it in a tactful way, to me, it was so direct that it couldn't be more direct. Sarutobi Hiruzen secretly complained in his heart. Great. I'm really moved by the attitude of the two clan leaders for Konoha. With you all here in Konoha, I, Sarutobi Hiruzen, feel at ease. Don't worry, I will never let the heroes of the village work in vain. Later, I will send someone to compile a scroll and hand it over to you two. With you here, Konoha is really indestructible. Sarutobi Hiruzen looked very touched, but in fact, his heart was bleeding. He knew that, if he didn't give these two tempting benefits, he would not expect these two clans to treat him with heart on the battlefield. In that case, I will immediately return to my clan to prepare to fight against the Mist Ninja. Hyuga Hayashi said seriously. Well, I will go back and prepare too. Uchiha Fugaku said immediately. Okay. Thank you for your hard work. Sarutobi Hiruzen said with a smile. After the two left, Sarutobi Hiruzen silently took out his pipe, sat back at his desk, and smoked quietly. After thinking for a long time, he wrote down the benefits for the two clans, and then sent someone to deliver them to the Hyuga clan and the Uchiha clan. It's time to abdicate. It seems that I'm really old. Sarutobi Hiruzen sat in an office chair like an old man in his twilight years, not knowing what he was thinking. As for the Mist Ninja, Hyuga Hayashi naturally did not go to the battlefield in person, but asked Hyuga Hisashi to go. Uchiha Fugaku did not go there in person either, but asked an early Jonin of the Uchiha clan to command and fight against the Mist Ninja. For a time, Konoha's ninjas were mobilized again. The originally prosperous Konoha now has civilians living in groups of 3 or 2 on the streets. Occasionally, some ninjas appear on the streets, and they are all ninjas responsible for defense, as well as ninjas who have not graduated. Genin were sent to transport supplies. Might Guy is no exception. And Might Guy knew that he was finally going to the battlefield. Although he was transporting supplies, it was better than listening to Uchiha Shizu and Hatake Kakashi being active on the battlefield every day, because it was a war period. In addition, the Hyuga clan and the Uchiha clan did not lack elite ninjas. Therefore, the pre-war preparations were carried out very quickly. They set out that night and headed for the Mist Ninja battlefield. The Uchiha clan and the Hyuga clan jointly formed a vanguard force. They quickly headed to the Land of Whirlpools with light equipment. This is an important location. When the Land of Whirlpools still existed, it shared a lot of pressure for Konoha. Once this position is occupied by the Mist Ninja, it will undoubtedly be a difficult hurdle. If the Mist Ninja occupies it, it means that the Mist Ninja will have a stable material transportation line. The Mist Ninja's mastery of water attribute ninjutsu is absolutely top-notch. On the sea, the Mist Ninja's advantage is obvious. Therefore, either occupy the Land of Whirlpools in advance, or prepare the defense of the coastline in advance. The role of this vanguard force is to occupy the Land of Whirlpools, and it is led by Uchiha Tiho, the elite Jonin of the Uchiha clan. The captain of the Konoha side in the Mist Ninja battlefield is Hyuga Hisashi, because he is the first choice in terms of qualifications and experience. Chapter 119 Might Guy's Crisis. In the early morning, at the battlefield of the Mist Ninja, the vanguard troops of Konoha arrived at the site of the Whirlpool country. Unexpectedly, they were attacked by the Mist Ninja. The Mist Ninja also realized the importance of the Whirlpool country and sent the vanguard troops of the notorious 7 ninja swordsmen. Biwa Juzo, Zigwashin Puffer Demon, Kurishi Kishimaru, Tankeo Yabaran, Wooly Shinpachi, Kurachurega, and Kizuna Chiron! Bang bang. I found you. Kurishi Kishimaru squatted on a tree and said gloomily. Go. Wooly Shinpachi stood on another tree, his eyes full of bloodthirsty look. It turned out to be the ruthless duo. Retreat quickly. Uchiha Tiho was very calm and decisive in giving orders. At the same time, his heart sank. For the name of the 7 ninja swordsmen, that is the cruelty that is famous in the ninja world. I don't know how the Mist Ninja cultivated these 7 things. Want to run? Haha, just let me sew you up. Kurishin Kishimaru strung a very thin, almost transparent silk thread on the tail of the long sword sewing needle in his hand. Then the figure disappeared strangely. Ah. The next second, several screams broke out behind the Konoha vanguard. Uchiha Tiho quickly opened his Sharingan. Looking back, he saw several Konoha ninjas strung together by Kurishin Kishimaru in a weird posture. The appearance was extremely distorted. Explode. Wooly Jinpachi appeared in the Konoha vanguard at some point. The explosive knife flying foam flew in Wooly Jinpachi's hand. Bang, bang. The detonating tags on the explosive knife flying foam blade were refreshed, as if they were free. Then they ruthlessly harvested the lives of Konoha ninjas. Damn it. Uchiha saw this. His face was extremely gloomy. Fire escape. Great fire extinguishing. Uchiha's ninjutsu forced Wooly Jinpachi out of the Konoha army. At the same time, some Hyuga clan ninjas in the Konoha army opened their Byakugan. They held Kirizen Kishimaru back. Retreat quickly. Uchiha saw that the opportunity was good and hurriedly ordered and shouted, "Want to run?" Biwajuzo and the other 5 people appeared on the retreat route of the Konoha army at some point. Each of them held a ninja sword in his hand. It was Biwajuzo who spoke. Damn it. Seeing this, Uchiha's heart sank to the bottom of the valley in an instant. Enjoy the killing. Tankeoyaran shouted cruelly, holding a blunt knife and rushing into the Konoha army. And the other 4 people of Biwajuzo also showed cruel smiles on their faces, rushed into the Konoha army, and began to slaughter. The battle lasted for a long time. In the end, the Konoha vanguard troops in the Mist Ninja battlefield were all killed. Suddenly, the Bloody Land, the 7 ninja swordsmen, stood there quietly, enjoying the taste of blood. Everyone's face showed a comfortable expression. At the same time, Hyuga Hisashi, who was far away from the coastline, had just built a camp and defensive traps. He looked at the time. His face suddenly changed. He sighed. He already knew the result of Uchiha leading the vanguard. But this was not the time to regret, and soon Hyuga Hisashi adjusted his mood, planning the battle with the Mist Ninja. As the vanguard, the 7 ninja swordsmen would naturally not stay in the land of whirlpools honestly. Relying on their own strength and the ability of the ninja swordsmen, they quietly walked onto the coastline and began to slaughter the villages near the coastline. The next day, the Mist Ninja battlefield ushered in the first battle. But there was no sign of the 7 ninja swordsmen. Because they were far away from the sea, the strength of the Mist Ninja could not be fully exerted. So Konoha always had the upper hand, but they could not pursue the victory. In this way, the Mist Ninja battlefield also began a tug-of-war. 2 months later, Might Guy had transported supplies several times with his team members, Shiranagenma and Ebisu. Moreover, the person in charge of transporting supplies was Might Guy's father, Might Day, K. I heard that there was news recently that the 7 ninja swordsmen of the Mist Ninja are active here. Do you think we will meet them? Shiranagenma said timidly. Yeah, I heard about it too. I heard that 2 teams encountered the 7 ninja swordsmen a few days ago and died. Ebisu said nervously. It shouldn't be so unlucky, Might Guy said with his shining teeth. I hope so. The 7 ninja swordsmen. They are definitely 7 cruel people. They don't even let children go. Wherever they pass, no chickens or dogs are left, and they are all slaughtered. Shiranagenma said with a bad face. Don't worry. Didn't my father give us a flare? Just release it when you are in danger. Besides, I'm the blue beast of Konoha. Might Guy's iconic green tights. Turning around and giving a thumbs up, the background of the sea reappeared. Shiranagenma and Ebisu did not feel at ease because of Might Guy's confidence, but became more uneasy. Day. I heard that your son's route is near the active area of the 7 ninja swordsmen. Are you so confident to let him go? A ninja who has a good relationship with Might Guy asked casually while distributing the supplies to be transported with Might Guy. Huh. I don't know, but it shouldn't be a problem. Although Might Guy was smiling, he really had a bad feeling in his heart. But Might Guy didn't care. He continued to distribute the supplies to the ninjas. I hope so, the ninja said casually. What did you say? Might Guy didn't hear clearly and then asked with a smile. Nothing. I mean, I hope Might Guy is safe, the ninja said with a smile. Of course, my son is the future blue beast of Konoha. Might Guy smiled and gave a thumbs up, showing the same shiny buck teeth as Might Guy. Why is it so quiet around here? Might Guy, Shiranagenma and Ebisu were escorting the supplies. Ebisu felt that the surroundings were so quiet that it made people panic. There was not even the sound of insects. Although it is autumn now, it is impossible that there is not even a sound of insects, not even a bird singing. Something is wrong. Yeah. Will there be danger? Shiranagenjian was a little timid to begin with, and now he is even more terrified. Yo. What a vigilant little devil. Biwajuzo stood on the tree, carrying a beheading sword, licked his tongue, and said with a cruel smile, while looking at my guy, and the other two. At the same time, 6 people appeared silently behind my guy, and the other two. Ah. It's terrible. We really encountered them. It's over. It's over. Everything is over. Shiranagenjian saw 7 people and the ninja swords in their hands, and sat limply on the ground, his mind blank. Flare. Might Guy was very courageous. He shouted to Ebisu. Ebisu, who was originally stunned, heard Might Guy's words and quickly took out a flare from his arms. Oh. Are there any helpers? I just thought that only 3 little kids were not enough to kill. Hurry up, I'm going to kill a lot. Tankeo Yebaran saw Ebisu's actions and immediately became interested, and hurriedly urged him. Swoosh. A red flare rose into the air. At this time, Shiranagenma and Ebisu finally felt a little relieved. But, have you called everyone? Haha, I will sew you together, and then, wait for the people to come and kill us together. Kurishe Kishimaru said in a weird voice, and then approached Might Guy, and the other two step by step. Chapter 120 Might Guy can't stay. Not good. Might Guy's heart sank. The ninjas in the supply camp saw the flare in the sky. Their hearts sank. They all looked at the rising flare with deep affection and nervousness. Especially Might Guy. That place was Might Guy's route. Moreover, before that, several teams also raised flares, but when they rushed over, only the cold bodies of Konoha ninjas were left. Seeing this, Might Guy did not hesitate, and put the supplies in his hand on the ground. 8 gates of ninja. Jingman, open. A strong airflow burst out from Might Guy's body. The green breath lingered around Might Guy, and the red light emanated from his eyes. Gay, Might Guy shouted, and his figure disappeared instantly. It was not a body flash technique, but the speed reached a certain level, and it looked like a body flash technique. The ninjas in the supply camp were shocked by the power Might Guy exuded. Might Guy, a 10,000-year-old genin, actually had such an amazing momentum. This kind of momentum, I'm afraid that ordinary quasi-cage level ninjas may not be able to achieve. He is so strong. Every old generation ninja said this in their hearts. There is no doubt that Might Guy's outburst washed away his title. In Might Guy's eyes, the trees retreated rapidly. Some trees broke because they could not bear Might Guy's footwork. Might Guy had to run on the ground because of this. But Might Guy didn't care about these. It was not important. What was important was Might Guy's current situation. Did he encounter the 7 ninja swordsmen? Was Might Guy in danger? At this moment, Might Guy finally broke out his long-suffering ninjutsu, which was to protect. Protect every ninja in the village. Protect everyone in Konoha village. The reason why Might Guy was called the 10,000-year-old genin was because Might Guy never showed his true strength to the ninjas of Konoha village. For fear of hurting his compatriots by using the 8 gates. Hold on. Youth, you must believe in the power of youth. Might Guy couldn't help but say softly. Want to kill me? Look at who I am. I'm Might Guy, the blue beast of Konoha's future. My disciple is Akuba, the Konoha Grim Reaper. Come on. As the teacher said, let me see how capable you are. Are you qualified to dance in front of me? Watermelon head. Confident eyes, white teeth. Might Guy confronted the 7 ninja swordsmen, and he was not at all weak, but rather arrogant. Akuba. Hearing Akuba's name, the eyes of the 7 ninja swordsmen changed color instantly. Akuba's name is well known to the 7 people. I heard that Akuba has 5 disciples. Uchiha the Flickershisu. Konoha Regahate Kakashi. Uchiha Obito, the Flame Messenger. Nohara the Medical Master. Could it be that you are the 5th disciple who has no reputation yet? Chiba said with a frown. Ah. So the 4 of them are already so famous? No, I, the Azure Beast of Youth Flame, cannot fall behind. Today, I will borrow the name of my Azure Beast from you, the 7 ninja swordsmen. Might Guy heard this, and immediately ignited the flame of youth. The background of the scene naturally rose. Haha, this kid is really interesting. Let me test your capacity. A cruel flash of Kairen in Azuki Chiba's eyes. Jagged teeth, glowing with cold light. His smile is frightening. Just look at Shiranagenma and Ebisu hugging each other, with snot running down their noses, and you will know how scared they are at this moment. Come on. The power of youth is invincible. 8 gates of Dungia. Open the rest gate. Might Guy directly opened 2 gates of the 8 gates of Dungia. White hair was all over his body. The teacher once said, Bajiquin, 3 years to kill the master. Although I haven't reached 3 years yet. But today I want to try it. The power of Bajiquin. Might Guy is not afraid of the name of the 7 ninja swordsmen. Directly attacking Chiba. Double blades flounder. Chiba saw Might Guy rushing towards him and immediately felt that he was looked down upon. A feeling of shame and anger filled his heart, and he was looked down upon by a child. This made Chiba secretly decide that he must use the most cruel way to kill Might Guy. Level 8. Elbow to the heart. Might Guy's footsteps were flexible, avoiding Chiba's double blades flounder. Then he took a step forward and elbowed Chiba in the heart. Splash. Chiba's chest turned into a stream of water. At the same time, Chiba secretly wiped a cold sweat. Fortunately, I have a secret technique. I almost died in the gutter. This damn kid. Are you made of water? Are you actually a woman? I remember the teacher said that only women are made of water. Might Guy's eyes were extremely sincere. Chiba was immediately choked with anger when he heard what Might Guy said. If you are a woman, please move aside. Although you are a ninja of the Miss Ninja, we are enemies. But I, Might Guy, never hit a woman. Might Guy put his hands behind his back very decisively and then said seriously, damn little devil, I'm a man. Die. Release the flounder. Chiron Kizuna was almost furious. He used the move of releasing the flounder. The 2 round holes of the flounder emitted blue gas, and then the whole flounder began to emit blue light. This was the light of chakra. The chakra began to gather, and then a chakra-like ball burst out. The whole process was extremely fast. Might Guy had to open the 3rd door. The life gate! Exclamation mark. Open the life gate. The gas on Might Guy's body exploded violently again. Might Guy pressed down and avoided the attack from the flounder. 12 weight and leg. Might Guy was like a spring pressed on his legs. A whip kick directly slapped Chiron Kizuna. Splash. Chiron's head turned into a pool of water. It returned to normal in an instant. Hey. Are you 6 guys watching a show? Chiron shouted angrily to the other 6 members of the 7 ninja swordsmen. Chiron, you are really no good. You can't even deal with a little ghost. Zigwashin Puffer Ghost said disdainfully. If you can do it, come on. If you kill this little ghost yourself, I will quit the 7 ninja swordsmen. Chiron said unhappily. Humph. Little ghost. I will suck your chakra dry. Zigwashin Puffer Ghost said cruelly. He raised the Samehuda in his hand and slashed at Might Guy. Samehuda's ninja sword is very strange. The hole is like a fish with a mouth. Wing Chun, inch power. Might Guy retracted his feet, got ready, and punched Samehuda. Bang. The sound was very loud. Samehuda was blown away by a huge force. The watermelon mountain puffer ghost was also thrown out fiercely. It crashed into 3 or 5 trees before it stopped. How is it possible? It's not chakra. The watermelon mountain puffer ghost patted the dust off his body, stood up, and looked at Might Guy in the distance in surprise. Looking at Samehuda sticking out his tongue, his face sank. Let's go together. The 7 ninja swordsmen saw this scene and their faces changed. At this moment, an idea burst out in their hearts. Might Guy can't be left behind. Chapter 121, The Tragedy of Mighty Day. Might Guy saw the 7 ninja swordsmen rushing over with their swords wielding, and he was not panicked at all. The teacher once said that the most difficult battle is never won against many. When many people attack one person, unless they cooperate well, they will be exposed. Might Guy said with white mist steaming from his body. Kurizen Kashimaru is famous for his weird stitches, but he underestimated Might Guy who had opened the life gate state. The fine silk threads around were noticed by Might Guy. He dodged them easily. At this moment, Might Guy was grateful to Bai Yu from the bottom of his heart. If he followed Might Day's training method, Might Guy would need a long time to open the 8 gates. But Bai Yu was different. For the human body structure, wearing clothes and not wearing clothes are the same. The 8 gates of the. This is Bai Yu's summary. After Might Guy told Bai Yu about this physical technique, when Bai Yu talked with Might Guy about his future, the 8 words are very short, but they prove everything. But Bai Yu is also an old man. He can see the flaws of the physical technique of 8 gates at a glance. However, Bai Yu could not perfect it for a while, because the heart meridian is the last death gate, which is not only the strongest, but also the weakest. And the 8 gates are extremely strict with the body. However, for Bai Yu, it is simply as simple as it can be. Chinese martial arts are so broad, and each one is the essence. Standing, opening the dragon spine, etc. are not only practiced under Bai Yu's supervision, but Might Guy himself will also practice. And a self-abuse maniac like Might Guy, he would like to practice every day without sleeping. Because of Might Guy has a very solid foundation. Only then did he have the strength to compete with the 7 ninja swordsmen today. After fighting with the 7 people for a while, Might Guy clearly felt that his physical strength was overdrawn. Teacher once said that when you encounter a large number of well-coordinated enemies, you have to use their strength to counterattack. Might Guy took 2 breaths and forcibly held on to his remaining strength. Take I. 4 ounces can move 1,000 pounds. Use the force. Fight the force. Go. Might Guy changed his posture, hugged a circle, and returned to 1, using the white mist steaming from his body surface as defense. He used the skills of Take I to guide the attacking ninja sword to the side. He successfully guided the blunt knife of the grass-no-eating man to Biwa Juzo. Are you blind? Why are you cutting me? Biwa Juzo glared at the grass-no-eating man and cursed loudly. It's this hateful brat. Humph. The grass-no-eating man said unhappily. Keep going. Pay attention. This brat can't hold on any longer. The sharp-eyed Kurachiraiga noticed that Might Guy's breathing was a little rapid and hurriedly said, Yoshi. Wooly Jinpachi's eyes lit up and he rushed forward first. Afterwards, Might Guy once again fought with the 7 ninja swordsmen. However, this time, Might Guy was once again knocked away by the impact force during the confrontation, but he also exited the 8 gates state and fainted. Shiranagenma and Ebisu, who didn't know where they got the courage, quickly took over Might Guy. Then the 2 of them carried Might Guy and ran back. However, the strength of the 2 people was always a problem. Before they could run a few steps, they were stopped by the 7 ninja swordsmen. Might Guy was awakened by the bumps, but the sequelae of the 8 gates ninja were revealed, and Might Guy was very weak at this time. Kid, you are still too immature. But being able to fight with the 7 of us for so long is enough to prove that your Konoha Blue Beast is not an exaggeration. Give you another 3 years, and you can live up to this title. Chiba said solemnly. I can't see it. Chiba, you still have such an upright moment, but this kid is destined to die here today. Miri Jinpachi licked his tongue and said cruelly. What nonsense. Kill them all. Kurachiraiga was the first to rush forward. Thunderblade Ya flashed with lightning and attacked Shiranagenma, Ebisu, and Might Guy. At this time, Shiranagenma and Ebisu's minds were blank. As if they had lost the ability to think, they sat limply on the ground carrying Might Guy. Looking at the attacking Thunderblade Ya, his eyes slowly lost focus. Konoha whirlwind. A green figure in the distance burst into a roar. A powerful whip kick kicked Kurachiraiga away. Who are you? Chiba looked at the man with the same outfit and hairstyle as Might Guy and asked in a deep voice. I'm Konoha's Genin Might Day. Might Day raised his thumbs and said with white teeth. The background of the sea appeared behind him. Kill. After a brief calm, the 7 ninja swordsmen didn't say much and started fighting directly. However, the 8 gates of ninja used by Might Day was obviously more advanced than the 8 gates of ninja used by Might Guy. The war lasted for a long time, and the surroundings were in a mess. The green light on Might Guy's body gradually turned blue. You can't be a genin. Such strength is comparable to the cage level. Who are you? Biwa Juzo roared. Humph. I will protect my compatriots today even if I die. The death gate is open. With Might Guy's firm tone, a red light appeared on Might Guy's body. Father, Might Guy said weakly. His eyes were wet. Looking at his father's tall back, tears slowly fell. Might Guy knew what this meant. This red light not only means strength beyond the cage level, it also means death. Patterns as hot as magma appeared on Might Guy's body. In Might Guy's eyes, there was no coolness or shock, only pain. This was the mark left by the large amount of heat after opening the death gate, which dried the skin. Goriki Konoha whirlwind. Might Guy roared. The figure suddenly disappeared, leaving a hot breath. Appeared in front of Kurachiraiga and kicked him in half with one leg. The second kick was towards Mirijinpuchi, sudden. The third kick was towards Tsuchiyanobito, sudden. Then Might Guy turned over and hit Chibukazuna with a series of fast punches. The hot punches. Chibukazuna was vaporized directly. Chibukazuna, sudden. After Might Guy killed 4 people in a row, he finally began to breathe heavily in pain. Father. Might Guy wanted to shout Might Guy, but he couldn't make a sound because Might Guy was already extremely weak at this time. If he hadn't been concerned about his father, Might Guy would have fainted long ago. He's dying. Go. Biwajuzo, Zigwashin Pufferfish Ghost, and Kurachurega. Seeing Might Guy's appearance, they fully demonstrated the spirit of taking advantage of your illness to kill you. Waving the ninja sword in their hands, they rushed towards Might Guy. Seeing this, Might Guy took a deep breath. Enduring the pain of broken bones all over his body, kicked the 3 people. The 3 men's strength was only 1/10 of what it was. After being kicked by Might Guy, the 3 men were instantly seriously injured. At this time, the ninjas in the Konoha supply camp, like a classic drama, rushed over after the battle was over. Only 3 of the 7 ninja swordsmen were left. Seeing this, the 3 men ran away instantly. Might Guy saw this and instantly exited the 8 gates ninja mode. With heat emanating from his body, his parched body slowly fell to the ground. Father. Might Guy used up all his strength, whispered, and fainted. Might Guy, sacrificed. Chapter 122 Might Guy's tights. The gloomy sky, in the Konoha cemetery, drizzling, brought a sense of depression to the Konoha ninjas. Might Guy refreshed his own value with his own life. Might Guy, supported by Shirana Genma and Ebisu, sent his father on his last journey. Sarutobi Hiruzen stood in the front, telling the will of fire in a sad tone. Just when Sarutobi Hiruzen talked about the passionate segment, roar, a dragon roar, penetrating the world, interrupted Sarutobi Hiruzen's speech. White dragon, the symbol of Bai Yu, appeared in front of everyone. Bai Yu is here, teacher. Might Guy was extremely sad. Looking at Bai Yu beside him, his heart was full of mixed feelings. He wanted to cry, but as a ninja, he couldn't cry. Well, Bai Yu looked at Might Guy, who was almost at his chest, touched his head. Green chakra instantly condensed on Bai Yu's hand. The next moment, green chakra enveloped Might Guy's whole body. Might Guy felt his body recovering. The weak state gradually faded away. After a long time, the chakra faded away. Might Guy regained his prime. Zyaro, you are here. Sarutobi Hiruzen was not angry because Bai Yu interrupted his speech, but leaned over and said sadly, Hokage-sama. Bai Yu said calmly, without any waves. How is the Cloud Ninja battlefield? Sarutobi Hiruzen asked. With me here, the victory is already determined. Bai Yu's plain words made people trust and feel safe from the bottom of their hearts. Bai Yu glanced at the tombstone of Might Day in the distance, and the box. His eyes changed. If I can resurrect your father, do you want your father to be resurrected? Bai Yu asked Might Guy. Teacher, I really hope my father will be resurrected. But my father sacrificed for his own ninja way. I want to respect my father's decision at that time. I saw my father's battle at that time. He was fully capable of repelling the 7 ninja swordsmen without dying, but he chose to bloom his youth with his last life. I don't want my father to live up to the power of youth. Might Guy said with pain in his eyes. Fortunately, if Might Guy really chooses to resurrect, it will take a lot of effort after all. He has turned into ash. Bai Yu was relieved. Well, very good. In this case, then you will inherit your father's youthful legacy. Be an outstanding ninja. Come with me to the Cloud Ninja battlefield. Bai Yu said calmly. Yes, teacher. Might Guy's eyes were filled with passion. The episode of Bai Yu's arrival did not last long, and Sarutobi Hiruzen continued his speech on the will of fire. Might Guy went back to pack his luggage, and Bai Yu came to the Hokage's office. I have made plans. I will build momentum for Minato Namikaze from now on. What do you think? Sarutobi Hiruzen said with an old look. I respect your choice. Konoha Times is a good tool for building momentum. Bai Yu sighed, and then said, to be honest, Zyao, Konoha is really safe with you here. Sarutobi Hiruzen understood what Bai Yu meant. What he said was nothing more than asking Bai Yu's thoughts. With Bai Yu's achievements, even if Bai Yu had that stain, it would be easy for him to become Hokage. And Bai Yu's words not only indirectly said that he had no interest in the position of Hokage, but also supported Sarutobi Hiruzen's decision, and even said the method of cooperating with Sarutobi Hiruzen. My friends are all in Konoha, my wife is in Konoha, and everything I have is in Konoha. Bai Yu said with a smile. Well, according to the intelligence, the 4 villages have planned a plan against you. The specific intelligence is difficult to collect, and I don't know when they will start to implement it. You have to be careful. Sarutobi Hiruzen looked at Bai Yu's increasingly majestic appearance, and he was relieved inside at the same time, and told Bai Yu what he knew. Thank you, Hokage. I know. I will be careful. Bai Yu said with narrowed eyes. I hope Minato will bring permanent peace to Konoha. Sarutobi Hiruzen looked out the window, the peaceful scenery in Konoha village, silently took out his pipe, took a puff, and said slowly, I hope so too. However, peace has its drawbacks. Judging from the current situation, it is better to have some peace. Bai Yu listened to Sarutobi Hiruzen's words and couldn't help but think of the grand occasion of the 21st century in his previous life. What drawbacks can peace have? No need to worry about dying that day. How happy. Sarutobi Hiruzen was stunned when he heard Bai Yu's words and asked in confusion. That's right. Happiness is so simple. I won't say much. I should go back to the battlefield. Bai Yu didn't explain anything. Maybe those problems shouldn't exist in this world. Sarutobi Hiruzen nodded. Bai Yu smiled and left the Hokage's office. With Might Guy, he returned to the Cloud Ninja battlefield. Along the way, Bai Yu looked at Might Guy's green tights. He wanted to ask Might Guy to change it several times, but thinking that Might Guy's father also wore this kind of clothes, would Might Guy want to wear it and miss it a little? Bai Yu didn't say it. Teacher, what are you thinking about? Might Guy saw Bai Yu's thoughtful look and couldn't help asking. I was wondering why you always wear green tights. Bai Yu was a little dazed and said it directly. After saying that, Bai Yu also reacted. Might Guy's father just died. Don't let Might Guy be sad again because of what you said. For a moment, Bai Yu was a little nervous. Because I'm poor. This tights, although it's a bit expensive, but it's durable. I've worn this for 2 years. Just wash it when it gets dirty. If it weren't for growing up, I could wear this set of clothes forever. Might Guy said with a smile. What? Just like that? Bai Yu's mouth twitched. Of course, this dress was also bought for me by my father. I want to keep it, because I can think of my father when I see this set of clothes. Might Guy said with a smile. Then how about this? K, you said that this set of clothes was bought for you by your father. Then you keep it well, and I'll buy you a new set of clothes. How about it? Bai Yu said with his eyes lit up. Really? Teacher, you have to buy me new clothes. Woo woo woo. Might Guy hugged Bai Yu and started crying. Exclamation mark. It's true. What's wrong? Why are you still crying? Bai Yu said quickly. I'm so touched. From childhood to adulthood, except for my father, no one has ever bought me clothes. Might Guy cried so hard that his nose was running. Hey, let's go. There's a small town over there. Let's go there first to buy some clothes. And then we'll go to the Cloud Ninja battlefield. Bai Yu saw Might Guy's look, rubbed his head and said, yeah. Thank you, teacher. Might Guy nodded and said with a touched face. Replan Might Guy's image, starting today. This is a sacred action. Bai Yu feels that this is his most clear choice. However, the most important thing is that Might Guy is his disciple, and his disciple wears a weird green tights every day. This feeling, if you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 123, The First Step of the Blue Beast. Arriving at the town, Bai Yu first took Might Guy to cut off his watermelon head. A clean hairstyle made Might Guy full of masculine handsomeness. Thick eyebrows and big eyes, very resolute. Plus a body of muscles cultivated through years of exercise. Walking on the street, some little girls looked at Might Guy and blushed. but the tights ruined Might Guy's overall image. Bai Yu took Might Guy to the ninja tool shop and bought him a very loose suit. The overall color was dark blue, much better than the green tights. Might Guy tied the ninja forehead protector to his arm and looked at himself in the mirror. His eyes were wide open. Teacher, I found that I look much more handsome now than before, Might Guy said, showing his white teeth. Well, this looks much better. Change your look, change your mood. Let's go to the battlefield with me. I have also heard of your name of the Blue Beast. But that's not enough. Whether you can become the Blue Beast of Konoha, you have to become famous on the battlefield. Bai Yu finally breathed a sigh of relief when he saw Might Guy's new look. Take Might Guy back to the Cloud Ninja battlefield. Bai Yu just arrived, and the next second, a ninja came to report. Master Bai Yu, there is an enemy attack in the north. Master Jiraiya is in the Eastern Army. He is rushing back. The ninja was stunned when he saw Might Guy next to Bai Yu. Is this a ninja from Konoha? Why haven't I seen him before? K, are you confident? Bai Yu thought to himself that the opportunity has come. Among his 5 disciples, only Might Guy is not famous enough. Disciples like me, Bai Yu, must be famous in the ninja world. I'm so sleepy. Someone sent a pillow. Yes, Might Guy also knew that Bai Yu wanted him to fight. So he said firmly, K, is that the young ninja who fought against the 7 ninja swordsmen alone and was undefeated? Didn't the intelligence say that he was wearing a green tights? How did he change? But it is true that Might Guy is Bai Yu's disciple. It seems that this is the young man. The ninja looked at Might Guy carefully again. Okay, then this time, I will send you to fight against the enemy attack. Oh, by the way, how many people are there? How strong are they? Bai Yu asked. The ninja who reported the intelligence had 3 black lines on his head. So you don't know the strength, so you want to send your own disciples to fight? Let's mourn for this brave blue beast for 3 seconds. About 70 people. 10 Jonin, 20 Chunins. The rest are Genin. The ninja said hurriedly. In that case, then K, you should find another opportunity. Send. Before Bai Yu finished speaking, Might Guy interrupted Bai Yu. Teacher, each of the 7 ninja swordsmen has the strength of an elite Jonin. And they all have ninja swords in their hands, and their strength is comparable to that of a quasi cage. I want to test my ability. I hope the teacher will allow it. Might Guy bowed to Bai Yu after he finished speaking. His tone was extremely firm. With such determination, even the ninja who reported the intelligence looked at Might Guy with new eyes. Since you are so determined, that's good. Bai Yu pondered for a moment. He helped Might Guy up and said solemnly, send 10 Jonin to raid the formation. When Might Guy is defeated, then take action. Guy, you must do what you can. You know the side effects of that ninjutsu. Bai Yu said seriously. I know, teacher. I can already open the 4th door. Might Guy smiled confidently, showing his white teeth. The background of the sea behind him automatically emerged. What is this? An illusion? Why do I see the sea? The ninja who reported the intelligence saw the scene behind Might Guy and thought to himself. The 4th door? Further improving the attack and speed, the body began to be damaged, entering the danger zone of the 8 gates, and truly entering the 8 gates state. Gay, if you really want to open the 4th gate, you must be careful. Do not close the 4th gate in advance, and make sure that all the enemies are dead. You can even open the 4th gate and come back. With your current body, opening the 4th gate is too much of a burden. Bai Yu said seriously. Yes, I know, teacher. Might Guy said solemnly. Well, the battle situation is urgent. Go quickly. I'll wait for good news. Bai Yu waved his hand and said. Might Guy and the ninja nodded and left. Bai Yu walked into Uchiha Makoto's tent. I really don't know what Lord Bai Yu is thinking. He actually sent us to raid the camp for a little ghost. Might Guy rushed to the front. 10 senior ninjas followed behind him, protecting Might Guy in secret. One of the senior ninjas was very unhappy when he saw Might Guy's strength and muttered. This boy is the 5th disciple of Lord Bai Yu. He once fought against the 7 ninja swordsmen until he was exhausted. The 7 ninja swordsmen had no way to defeat him. Isn't that also exhaustion? What kind of strength do the 7 ninja swordsmen have? If his father hadn't saved him, he would have been doomed. That is enough to prove the potential of this boy. Potential is not strength. His true strength will just reach the level of the next elite. Don't say that. This boy knows a forbidden technique called 8 gates. After activating the 8 gates, his true strength can be comparable to that of an elite Jonin. Today we are going to fight against 10 Jonin. And there are also Chunins. There are dozens of people in total. Let's see what happens. Lord Bai Yu won't give orders so casually. Maybe this boy will bring surprises to people. Surprise? Then I'll watch. If it weren't for Lord Bai Yu, I wouldn't believe that this mission really exists. It's about to begin. Accompanied by the casual chat of the 10 ninjas, Might Guy finally arrived at the attack site of the Cloud Ninja Force. This stronghold is a secret sentry. There is a lot of collected intelligence inside. Fortunately, the intelligence has been transferred before the attack of the Cloud Ninja. But all the ninjas died. Might Guy fully developed the essence of Bai Yu. Don't say some nonsense when fighting. Schumann. Open. White gas evaporated. Might Guy rushed towards the Cloud Ninja at an incredible speed. Enemy attack. Enemy attack. Number of people. 1 person. Haha. What a joke. 1 person? Is there no one left in Konoha? Bang Might's serious face. Might Guy kicked the Cloud Ninja who had just mocked him in the head. The Cloud Ninja's head turned 3 times and slowly fell to the ground. Damn kid. Lightning escape. Ground walk. A ninja saw this and released ninjutsu to Might Guy. Step on the moon. Might Guy saw the electric current rushing over. He performed a step. This step can temporarily step into the air. Perfectly avoid ninjutsu. Might Guy is like a human-shaped beast, charging through the Cloud Ninja assault force. The destructive power is shocking. This also makes the 10 Jonins of Konoha who just didn't think highly of Might Guy refresh their views on Might Guy. However, the Cloud Ninja has also learned to be smart. Instead of competing with Might Guy in physical skills, they just release ninjutsu from a distance. Might Guy's face changed. Injury gate. Open. The green energy makes Might Guy even more ferocious. His body surface turns red. What is this? Exclamation mark. This speed. How is it possible? Exclamation mark. Impossible. Exclamation mark. So fast. At this time, Might Guy's speed is not visible to the naked eye when the injury gate is opened. If he had opened the injury gate earlier, his father probably wouldn't have to fight alone. Might Guy can open the 4 gates because of Bai Yu's treatment of Might Guy. Bai Yu's treatment cured all the hidden injuries in Might Guy's body, which allowed Might Guy to have the conditions to open the 4 gates. With the memory of his father in mind, Might Guy took the first step towards becoming the Blue Beast of Konoha. Chapter 124, Canopy Bridge. In the Cloud Ninja battlefield, a surprise attack and resistance. Might Guy, 1 against many. The Cloud Ninja only managed to escape with 3 seriously injured Jonin. In the end, Might Guy fainted from exhaustion and was rescued by Konoha. Since then, Might Guy's name as the Blue Beast of Konoha has spread across the ninja world. For a time, everyone in Konoha had a smile on their face, while the other 4 villages were in great pain. In the Sand Ninja battlefield, takes Akumo, Orochimaru, and Tsunade. These are the ninjas of the older generation who are famous in the ninja world. The new famous ninja Shunshin Shisu. In the Rock Ninja battlefield, Sarutobi Hiruzen ordered Namikaze Minato to be the leader of the battlefield. Nerishikaku joined the army. In countless battles, Namikaze Minato's name of the Yellow Flash made people famous and frightened. Only the Flash was seen but no one was seen, and once the Flash was gone, people died. There were also Reiga Kakashi and the Flame Envoy Uchiha Obito, and the medical master Nohara in the Rock Ninja battlefield. The most miserable is the Mist Ninja battlefield. First, there is the explosion of the 10,000-year-old Genin Might Day. He killed 4 of the 7 ninja swordsmen and 3 of them were disabled. Then there is the rise of the Blue Beast Might Guy. Then in the overall situation, the 2 powerful families of the Hyuga clan and the Uchiha clan are in the battle. They can't advance or retreat. But the most heartbreaking and uncomfortable thing is the Cloud Ninja battlefield, where Jiraiya is. The Konoha death god is here. Needless to say, the newly promoted famous ninja Konoha Blue Beast is also here. For a while, the 3rd Reikage, who was baring his teeth all day, also shut up and began to think about how to fight against Konoha. and after intelligence investigation, these newly promoted ninjas, except for the yellow flash who is Jiraiya's favorite disciple, Uchiha Shisu, Hatake Kakashi, Uchiha Obito, Nohara Rin, my guy, are all Bai Yu's disciples. Exclamation mark. Are you a devil, Bai Yu? How did you teach your apprentice? Therefore, the four village shadows held a secret meeting again. The final conclusion is that, although Bai Yu has made few moves, he is still the biggest stumbling block for the four villages to fight against Konoha. So the shadows of the four villages came up with a series of strategies against Bai Yu. However, who will be the first leader in the end, has not been finalized. In the end, the shadows of the four villages walked away. Of course, the Sand Ninja side was replaced by Chiyo. I think that the location of Komubi Bridge is the key to victory in the battle with the Iwagakure, because all the supplies of the Iwagakure are transported here. As long as the supply line here is cut off, the defeat of the Iwagakure is only a matter of time. At the combat meeting on the Iwagakure battlefield, Narashikaku said seriously, "Please explain in detail." Namikaze Minato heard Narashikaku's speech and instantly felt that it was correct and said seriously, "Send a full squad to blow up this bridge. I suggest that we dispatch the Minato squad. Minato will provide speed, and Minato will be responsible for blowing up the bridge in terms of attack, because your Muji ninjutsu is very powerful. If there is an enemy attack, Kakashi and Uchiha Obito can stop it. In terms of perception and medical treatment, Nohara Rin can play a role." Narashikaku said. There is no need to say too much to smart people. Namikaze Minato understood Narashikaku's intention in an instant. It has to be said that it is correct. If you want to quickly defeat the Rock Ninja force, this strategy is undoubtedly the simplest and most direct strategy. Namikaze Minato thought for a long time. Okay. Tomorrow I will lead the Minato squad to carry out this task. Namikaze Minato said firmly. This task seems simple, but it is very difficult to execute. There are also many uncertain factors. However, it is not without reason that Namikaze Minato was chosen by Sarutobi Hiruzen as a candidate for Hokage. Namikaze Minato seems to be very gentle, very friendly and kind, but his character is very decisive and resolute. Afterwards, Narashikaku and Namikaze Minato finalized the details of the plan. Narashikaku left, and Namikaze Minato called Hatake Kakashi, Uchiha Obito, and Nohara Rin to explain the mission, to be carried out tomorrow. This time there is a very important mission, which is related to the victory or defeat of the war between Konoha and the Rock Ninja. The name of this mission is the Battle of the Gale Duel at the Konoha Bridge. Namikaze Minato said seriously. Minato teacher, you came up with this name, right? Uchiha Obito looked at Namikaze Minato with a little look, and said with a curled lip, yes. How about it? It's pretty good, right? This is a name I've been thinking about for a long time. Namikaze Minato had a kind smile on his face. Well, it's much better than the last Super Ondo that destroyed the Rock Ninja Squadron's Gale Raid operation, Uchiha Obito said angrily. Regarding the aspect of Namikaze Minato's naming, including Kakashi, they were all speechless. Haha. Very good, right? Come, let me tell you the details of the operation. Namikaze Minato pointed to the map and said with a smile. We start to lurk from here, let's go. From here. Namikaze Minato told the three people the route and various details. However, there are still many uncertainties along the way. I don't know if there will be an ambush. Will there be traps, and will there be ambushes and attacks? You can consider not participating now. I will find other ninjas to perform this mission. Namikaze Minato said seriously. Hatake Kakashi, Uchiha Obito and Nohara Rin are the future of Konoha in Namikaze Minato's eyes. If they were not the best candidates, Namikaze Minato would not let the three of them participate. Teacher Minato, are you looking down on us? Anyway, Rin and I are not afraid anymore, but I don't know about some faceless men. I think it's better to replace some faceless men. Uchiha Obito will never miss any opportunity to attack Kakashi. Oh, right. I forgot to mention it. Because Kakashi's military exploits have reached a certain level, Kakashi is now a Jonin. The Hokage himself issued the appointment letter. Namikaze Minato took out Kakashi's ID from his arms and handed it to Hatake Kakashi. At the same time, he also took out a three-pronged kunai of his own style, a flying thunder god. This is my special 3-pronged kunai. It is sealed with a flying thunder god slash. Although it is simplified, you can fully perform it with your ability. It is a gift for you to become a Jonin. Namikaze Minato said with a smile. Thank you, teacher. Kakashi said respectfully. Namikaze Minato's title is Yellow Flash, famous for his speed. The research on the flying thunder god technique has reached a superb level. This gift may seem simple, but if this gift is used well, it is undoubtedly a killer to save your life. Kakashi, this is for you. This is an emergency treatment kit that I prepared myself. It can basically deal with all kinds of injuries. I can't come up with any expensive gifts at the moment, please forgive me. Noharalin took off an exquisite medical kit from her waist and handed it to Kakashi, blushing and said, this is already very precious. In war, being able to treat injuries in time is equivalent to having an extra life. Kakashi said. The scene was a little quiet. Kakashi looked at Uchiha Obito, who pursed his lips and looked elsewhere. Hey, it's your turn. Kakashi stretched out his hand to Uchiha Obito and said leisurely, TSK. Boring. Hurry up and prepare the equipment for tomorrow's departure. I won't say that I'm poor and have nothing to give. Exclamation mark. Uchiha Obito hid everything and turned away proudly. Chapter 125, Cloud Ninja's actions. Several people knew about Uchiha Obito's situation, and they didn't say anything. They said it was normal for Uchiha Obito to be arrogant. They were used to it. It was normal for Uchiha Obito to be so arrogant. The next morning, Namikaze Minato took Hatake Kakashi and the other two and set off. At the same time, the war changed rapidly. Just after Namikaze Minato led the Minato team to carry out the mission, the third Raikage decided, the four villages united, and the first troops to be sent out to reinforce the Sand Ninja, Rock Ninja, Mist Ninja, 3 places, and the Ab brothers were left in the battlefield of the Cloud Ninja. For a time, the pressure on the battlefields of the Sand Ninja, Rock Ninja, and Mist Ninja doubled. Bai Yu and Jiraiya, who got the information, convened a meeting for the exhibition as soon as possible. Jiraiya and Bai Yu did not speak at the first time. Instead, they listened to other captains reporting intelligence and work. When all the captains reported the intelligence, I suggest that the headquarters start to spread the troops. Support other battlefield troops. Jiraiya said seriously. Don't underestimate those 2 black guys. If they unite, they are no less than quasi-shadow level masters. Once the troops spread out, the 2 black guys will definitely take the opportunity to attack the headquarters. At that time, considering the current situation of the 4 villages, it will inevitably become a breakthrough point. Bai Yu thought for a while and said, what should we do? Judging from the current situation, the 4 villages will definitely unite. The overall strength is very strong. If we don't send troops to support, our battle ratio will increase. Jiraiya said. The headquarters will not move. You take Might Guy and challenge them. Disgrace those 2 black guys. As long as they don't start a war, we will scold them. Until the war starts. As long as they start a war, we will retreat. If they retreat, we will continue to scold them, but we won't fight. Bai Yu said with a glimmer of wisdom in his eyes. Huh? What does this mean? Jiraiya was puzzled. Even the captains present were puzzled. Jiraiya asked curiously. The tactic of delay. Now if you want to free up troops and support other battlefields, the best way is to win one force first. Bai Yu said with narrowed eyes. Then what? Jiraiya became more and more confused as he listened. What is this nonsense? Bai Yu couldn't help but miss Narashikaku. Hold these 2 black guys so that I can go and do something. Now the Sand Ninja, Rock Ninja, and Cloud Ninja can support each other on the 3 battlefields. It must be difficult to fight, but the Mist Ninja is different. There is no village in front, and no shop behind, and the only route that can be supported is ours. As long as these 2 black guys are held back, I will have a chance to beat the Mist Ninja back. Exclamation mark. Free up the troops to fight against the Mist Ninja, and then reinforce the Sand Ninja and Rock Ninja. Bai Yu said carefully. Yoshi, you are really good. It's okay. Haha. Jiraiya listened and immediately felt that what Bai Yu said was feasible. Well, is the ninja reinforcement of the Cloud Ninja over? Bai Yu smiled and asked. A ninja heard Bai Yu's words and ran out quickly. Bai Yu didn't say anything. He knew that this ninja was in charge of intelligence work. Soon after, the ninja ran back. Master Bai Yu, the reinforcement have ended. The sand and rock battlefields have seen even more intense battles. Well, let's not delay any further. I'll go to the Miss Ninja right now. Jiraiya, you're the fastest at delivering messages. Report my actions back to Konoha as soon as possible. Let the Hokage know. He's so old, don't worry about it all the time. Bai Yu said. Okay, I get it. But isn't this the job of the Hokage? Jiraiya asked in confusion. Well, just ignore what I said. I'll go talk to Mikoto. Then I'll leave. Bai Yu rolled his eyes, said, and walked out of the tent in a cool manner. Jiraiya had no choice but to discuss other combat details with other captains. Teacher Minato, why was the mission cancelled? Uchiha Obito, who was ready to carry out the mission, asked in confusion. We just got the intelligence. The Cloud Ninjas have reinforced the Rock Ninja battlefield. We must wait until the battle situation stabilizes before we carry out this mission. It's impossible that we succeed in carrying out the mission, but in the end we find that our headquarters has been destroyed, right? Namikaze Minato touched his head and said with a smile. Okay. Uchiha Obito originally thought that he could show his prowess in front of Nohara this time and make Nohara fall in love with him completely. However, the mission is over. In fact, Uchiha Obito is simply a mentally retarded person. After such a long period of contact, Nohara has already developed some strange feelings for Uchiha Obito imperceptibly, but Nohara did not realize that Uchiha Obito was a mentally retarded person and had always confused admiration with affection. As a result, Uchiha Obito still thought that Nohara liked Kakashi. Little did he know that Nohara's admiration for Kakashi was just an admiration for an excellent student. Don't be so discouraged. You can also make achievements on the battlefield. Namikaze Minato smiled kindly at Uchiha Obito. Okay, humph. Uchiha Obito said dejectedly, but seeing Kakashi's dead fish eyes, no matter how he looked at it, he felt that Hatake Kakashi was despising him. So, Uchiha Obito snorted arrogantly again. TSK. Always the last one. Hatake Kakashi was speechless and said softly, then turned and walked towards his tent. Asshole. Kakashi, don't go. I'm going to fight you for 300 rounds. Let you know the dangers of society. Uchiha Obito instantly exploded at Hatake Kakashi's casual words. Nohara smiled gently and pulled the two people apart. Then she pulled Uchiha Obito away, fearing that Uchiha Obito would be kicked to death by Hatake Kakashi. Tailed Beast Power Bank. Here I come. Hehe. Which tailed beast does the Miss Ninja have? The three-tailed beast is in the pond. What's the name of the Jinchuriki who blows bubbles? That's right, it's called Bubble. Bai Yu stood on Bailong's head and couldn't contain his excitement no matter what. He couldn't help but mutter. Can you calm down? Bailong was very annoyed by Bai Yu's nagging. Calm down. How to calm down? Super powerful, cultivation enhancement device. The strongest plugin in history. How can I calm down? I don't know that the three-tailed thing is soaking in that pond. If both of them absorb it, I think I should be able to rise to the level of Super Shadow. If it weren't for Shukaku's diarrhea thing, I should have been a quasi-shadow level back then. I'm still an elite Jonin. Chakra is a thing that is really slow to cultivate by yourself. Bai Yu started to complain crazily. Slow? Where's the face? It's only been a few years since you came here. Oh my god. Isn't that quasi-shadow level guy an old thing? Bailong had no choice but to ignore Bai Yu. Bai, why don't you say anything? Do you also think that Shukaku is a piece of shit? Bai, Bai Yu was calling Bailong endlessly in the air. If you keep talking, I'll go back. Bailong couldn't stand it anymore and said. Bai, you're not a woman, are you? Why is your temper getting worse and worse? You weren't like this before. Bai Yu said in surprise. What do you care? TSK. Bailong blushed. But because his head was too big, Bai Yu didn't notice it. Bai Yu thought Bailong was starting to be arrogant, so he didn't say anything, still immersed in his own excited world. End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.